Good evening and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net, the most interesting net in two-way radio. Tonight we are live from Studio Vanguard. We're linked in with the following repeaters. We are following the Noonan 650 machine, Zebulon, Lula, Rome. That's a core server. He doesn't count. Flagship, McDonough, Fort Mountain, Buckhead, Toccoa, Columbus, Jersey, Watkinsville, Peachtree, Cades Cove, Lookout Mountain, White Oak Mountain, Ottawa, Georgetown, and the Mount Roosevelt 700 machine. Nice. Did I get through that list okay?
Sounded good to me.
Can I do it again next week?
Sure.
Well, we'll see about that. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. There's a reason they don't let me do this part anymore. Yeah, but Julie's not here, so she can't stop me. I'd like to thank all of you who've made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. My name is Justin.
And this is Tony, Atlanta 1150, WRZV 748.
And this is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263, Rogers.
On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we'd like to hear. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are welcome from anyone with a valid FCC call sign. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. Also, you can tune in to the YouTube channel and follow along, or even better, tune in after the net to watch your appearance on the network. You can hear how you sound to us right here in Studio Vanguard. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment so we know that you're watching. Interactions in the YouTube live stream mean the most to help our new channel grow. Tonight, what's the topic, Tony?
Nerdy things, tech,
nerdy tech things,
something like that.
Something, yeah. So
websites, whatever you can throw at us.
Yeah. We just thought this would be a great time to talk about some of the nerdy tools, gadgets, web pages, things that we use to enjoy radio, and some of the peripheral things. You know, one of the things that I had in mind when I picked this topic out, I don't know, like last January, I think it was.
Yeah.
Was Ham Shack Hotline. And
how'd that work out for you?
Well, you know, it was the coolest thing ever because you could take an old VoIP phone and you could plug it in, you could provision it, and it would have a number on this exclusive amateur radio network. Let me break. And it was kind of cool because the number at that time, you know, they had just finished closing up and issuing the 4-digit numbers, and I ended up with a 5-digit number. And it went from the 5-digit numbers to the 9-digit numbers. I
can't even remember my own phone number.
Right. But that was kind of cool. My number was 11313. And I thought that was it was easy to remember.
Right.
And so, you know, every now and then that silly thing would ring, and there'd be, you know, I talked to a guy from Great Britain one time. He had a wrong number. And I talked to Todd Walker a couple of times on the Ham Shack hotline. It was kind of neat. And, you know, it's just like a regular phone conversation. Of course, it is a regular phone because all of our phones, even if you have the old school landline, as soon as that circuit gets to the telephone company's equipment, it's VoIP.
Yeah.
There are no true landlines anymore. So, and this just works in the same way. So it's a server that somebody maintains that handles the allocation for that number and all the routing for it. And
so why did it go down? I mean, it's not used no more.
It's no longer available, and it went down. Well, you know, they have a web page that talks about why they took it down.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that it was just too much work for old retired people to keep it up. And I think that rather than hand it to somebody that maybe wouldn't have done a good job with it, they just wanted to see it retire. But I found there is ham VoIP, a ham voice over IP It reminds me of IHOP. I can't remember exactly how that is, but there's a web page in that queue there for the ham VoIP thing. I'm going to do a little bit of research on that because it looks like I can provision my old Ham Shack hotline phone on their system, and so I might be able to activate that again. So it's kind of a neat thing. So if you're listening and you had a Ham Shack hotline, check this out. Tony's trying to find the page. There it is.
Got it.
HOIP, HOIP, hams over IP. So it's not IHOP, but it does use
It's
the
close.
same letters.
I would have said the same thing.
Yeah.
It's we hop. No. Ham hop.
Ham hop? Something like that. Ham hoip. I don't know how that works. But anyway, that might be worth checking out. I've just discovered that this week, so I don't really know anything about it. Maybe somebody out there, I bet Patrick knows about it. If anybody out there knows, it'd be Atlanta 240, right?
I would think so. He's pretty on the ball there.
Let's break. So we've got that to talk about. We've got a handful of other things. We do not have an episode of Julie's Tips tonight, but I think we've got plenty to get us going. And also, we have announcements.
We do.
Some of us do.
You gotta give me 1 second here.
All right, we're gonna have to go a little bit slower. We're running at Tony's pace tonight.
Get it off.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So you don't need those up on the little monitor. You need them right in front of you. There you go. You ready?
All right. Roger's got it. There we go. All right. I think I'm ready.
All right.
So I take it over now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime would be good.
Anytime? All right. This week's announcements. Bear with me, guys. All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Atlanta 1150. My name is Tony. And this week's news and announcements live from Vanguard Studio. Have you heard about the $2,000 reward for the interrupter? The gentleman doing the interference. There we go. I'll get it here. Too many buttons. Too many buttons. All right. Information leading to the FCC actions related to the intentional interference that has been happening on our network. That would go a long way to upgrading your station. A new radio, a new handheld, something. If you have any information, please send it to Gary at gmrs.org or Justin at gmrs.org. I've got some upcoming gatherings to tell you about this week, right? That are right around the corner. Pay attention. Maybe write them down. Put them on your calendar. These meetings are a great way to meet fellow radio geeks or just say hello. In your area. The first up, we got Chattanooga Radio Luncheon, November 21st at noon at Champy's Restaurant. And what is it? 6515 Ringgold Road in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yeah, see, this is... Yeah, I didn't do it. We're getting there, folks. Getting there. Getting there. There we go. Sorry, trying to do two things at once. All right, is that Ronnie's?
I'm having so much fun watching you.
I know you.
struggle
You're enjoying that a
because
lot, aren't you?
I can't do it any better than you are.
Okay, but is the Chattanooga Ronnie's?
Yeah.
So he finally figured it out how to tell us when it was.
I don't know if Ronnie did it or if one of his minions did it, but somebody provided us some info about the Chattanooga luncheon. So
all right,
finally we have that.
Now I done lost the mouse again. Okay, there we go. We're gonna keep going. Let me. All right, the Kennesaw gathering will happen, or we're having our next Meet and Geek on Tuesday, November 11th at noon at Old Town Grill on Cobb Parkway, around the corner from McCullum Airport in Kennesaw. Bring your radio or your Meshtastic for programming issues and to discuss and resolve your problems. They'll have a mobile test bench available after lunch where we can test and program the most popular radios or help you set up your Meshtastic node. Please reach out to Ed at Atlanta 557 beforehand on air or via email at wrqg806@gmail.com if you are planning to attend, so he can have enough seats and so he can have the right programming cables and software to help you out. Next on the list, I didn't give that to you, did I, Rogers?
It's all right.
You all right? You bearing with me too?
It's all good. It's all, I mean, what you're trying to do is basically you're juggling with blindfolded almost. It's tough.
What you and Mike do at the same last week, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get it here. All right. Is that Peachtree? Is that the right one for you? Why did it do that?
Yeah. So while Tony's trying to find the web page for it's for the JR's Loghouse, right? Oh, let's break. There we go. Well, Tony's trying to find the web page for JR's Loghouse. I'll vamp here for just a moment and stall because I can't do that either.
Well, you gave me a new task all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then like, here, fix this or do this.
He had about 8 minutes to pre-read this, and of course we threw 4 different other things at him at the same time.
And then I told you, I could do the button, but I totally forgot about pushing it too.
Oh, there we go. Well, let's try Peachtree Corners.
All right. The Peachtree Corner Brunch Bunch meeting the third Saturday of every month at JR's Loghouse in Peachtree Corners at 6601 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. Always have a fun time. Okay, we got to write that better. Or I got to read better, one or the other. Saturday, November 15th.
A little of both, I think.
Will be our next brunch bunch. And guess what? It was a special one. Why? Because we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary meeting with so many special members who have become great, meaningful friends also. So come and join us at the 1-year anniversary at JR's Loghouse. We're always available to answer questions and bring equipment with you on site for assistance. Pamela says, all radio enthusiasts, please come join us for a tasty meal. Great Google to their, wow, okay.
Check Google.
Check Google.
For
all
their
right.
extensive,
For their
affordable
menu.
menu.
Okay, their menu. Stop. So drop in and ask at skygazerpamela849@gmail.com and let us know you're coming, and we can save you a spot. Reach out to Pamela Atlanta 849 or Ernest Atlanta 848 for a chair confirmation, unless you'd rather stand. Haha, according to her. Messages or questions will be left at skygazerpamela849@gmail.com. Please repeat. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, anytime. So, all right. Well, while you're looking for Rooster stuff, I'll vamp here again.
Okay, yeah.
For a minute.
Fill in.
I was kind of hoping to go to. I've been wanting to go to one of Pamela's luncheons for the longest time, but I see that we've got something committed for that weekend, so I don't think we're even going to be in the state. But one of these days, I'm going to make it over to Peachtree Corners and have one of those pancakes as big as your head, especially since we have the VoIP thing going on now.
Well, as I'm reading them, what was on the 15th?
That's
Pamela's?
Pamela's gig on the 15th.
I have to go to Savannah.
Oh, you're in Savannah. Okay, so we're going to be at Myrtle Beach. So we're all going to be close to the ocean and nowhere near JR's.
Sorry, Pamela.
But I think there will be a few people that show up. So hopefully a good number. Mark tells us that VoIP sounds like a medical condition. You've come down with a case of VoIP?
Yeah. Is it curable?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably have to get a phone.
All right, the last one. The Northeast Lunch Bunch will be moving their monthly luncheon gathering up a few weeks to November 19th. Still at the usual spot, Rooster's Cafe in Dahlonega. And still at the usual time at 11 a.m. We are always adapted to our schedule for the holidays. We've adapted our schedule for the holidays. All North Georgia GMRS and NGARA members and future members are welcome. For more information, contact Bobby at Atlanta 403 or Joe, Gainesville 44, if you got questions. And finally, just a quick program note, as the holidays approach, there will not be a net on Thanksgiving or Christmas or on the New Year's Day. Just a little heads up for the upcoming schedule. This is it. If you have any questions or comments, keep the comments nice. And this is my first time.
Well, there's a real nice comment up here.
Oh,
It
we
says
got a
it says give Tony a like because this was thrown at him at the last minute. Let's break.
Yeah, I don't want you. I'll have to go back and look at the comments. Anyway, the comments for please email Justin at northgeorgiagmrs.org. Alrighty, Julie, back to you. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means
Okay.
either. All right.
Oh wait, we have the upcoming events.
Yeah, we'll save that. We'll save those. They're
gonna save
coming.
that?
Yeah.
There's only one.
No, there's two.
Oh, there's two.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Scroll.
Oh.
Yeah, well, they're a ways away, so we'll bring those up in.
We'll get those
in-
next time?
in time. Yeah. So that's it. We've got the Kennesaw gathering. We've got the a Chattanooga radio luncheon, November 21. November 11 is going to be the Meet and Geek. November 15 is the Peachtree Corners Brunch Bunch, and Roosters on November 19. Middle of the week, that's retirees only. Yeah,
Easy now.
working stiffs can't
Okay.
make it to that one.
I normally make it to the Roosters one.
Yeah.
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 Sorry.
So yeah. So those are
Well,
the
wait,
events.
There's a couple that aren't retired that make it to the Roosters.
Well,
Jonathan.
oh, he's
Gainesville 5-8.
yeah. Well, he's unemployed. I mean, self-employed.
There's true. That is
Yeah, yeah. So that matters. All right. So that and the other thing that is on the books for discussion is renewals. We're in the middle of our wintertime renewal drive, and so this comes up year after year. We come to the end of the year, and a lot of folks think, well, I signed up in June or July or August or September, and so I should be good until then, right? No, we don't really have the means of tracking memberships like magazine subscriptions. We really go from year to year. So come January 1, everybody's membership is due for renewal. And so we'd like to encourage as many as possible to go ahead and get that renewal in early. Or if you're a brand new member, you're sitting on the fence and trying to decide whether this is something you want to take part in or not. If you apply for a membership now, your membership will be good for the remainder of 2025 and all of 2026. So new members and renewals are really the focus of this time, and we'll be talking about the new membership drive each week until we get there. So,
I've done it already.
yeah.
Yeah.
And once we get there, if you have not renewed, there's a couple of things. All right, so we've got a track record of about a third of our number each year drops off, and so I get it. I mean, you became a member and you thought that you were going to be more engaged, and maybe life got in the way, and you're just not. Let me break. And so the radio thing is cool, and it was a great phase, and you enjoyed it for a minute, but now you're busy with the boat, or you're busy with the kids, or you're busy with
Holidays.
travel, whatever it might be, and it's just not your thing like you thought it would be. We see a significant number of members that drop out each year because of that, and that's fine. And for those folks, I would say thanks for your support. Thanks for trusting us to provide the network for you to use during that time. And if you get to a phase in your life where you think you want to come back, we'd love to have you back. And then we've got this new noise that's going on in the neighborhood, right?
Very annoying.
I think
noise.
a couple of people have heard the MDS chirps and the vulgar comments that have come about. It's unfortunate that one individual has taken it upon himself to actually, take the joy out of two-way radio for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. This one person is on a campaign to do harm and damage to the radio network, and it's not just us. We're hearing that this is happening in other bands and in commercial services, and so there's going to come there's going to come a point at which this can no longer go on, whether we're able to make something happen or other officials are able to do it. At some point, this will come to an end. So, if you're one of those that just can't tolerate the vulgarity and the interference, and you choose not to renew, again, I'm going to say thanks for your support. Thanks for being here for
Nice
us
to
for
meet
this
you.
time.
Glad we got to talk.
Yeah, and I hope that you'll be back.
Yes.
Because this has gone on for much longer than I thought it would, but it will come to an end, and when it does, I hope that we're able to restore, sanity and reason back to the network, and that's my intention, and we'll see how it plays. So for those that I'm disappointed because for those that are going to not renew because of this, you kind of give them a win, right?
Right. You're letting the bully win.
That the bully is driving you off the air, and that's unfortunate. But for those of us that stick around and persevere through this, for those that go ahead and put in their renewal, I especially want to say thanks to you for your continued support of the North Georgia GMRS Network. We're looking at next year's budgets, and we're anticipating a little tighter budget next year, so it may have an impact on some operational things. It certainly will have an impact on growth.
Yeah.
We're not going to be making those kind of investments at a time when it looks like our membership numbers are going to be down. Let me break. But hopefully we have the right number of people to bring us to a level that we can maintain the network as it is, and maintain our equipment and pay our constant, the recurring bills.
Electricity's not free anymore.
No, it really is
going up.
And at most places, and we've got rents to pay that in some cases have gone up, and we've got other obligations to meet. There's people that are out there that think that this money is going into someone's pocket and making them rich. And have you ever put up a repeater? Do you have any idea what that costs?
How about the insurance? Whose insurance hasn't gone up this year?
Right. And that is a thing. And we've had to actually increase our liability coverage because of some of the properties where we're located have demanded that we have higher levels of insurance coverage. So, and that's the thing. If you're located on a commercial tower or on a commercial building, those are expectations that have to be satisfied.
Yes.
So,
Can't go without insurance.
That's right. Well, especially if the property owner demands it.
Yes.
I mean, that's just, if you want to be there, then you have to be able to do that. So there are expenses to operating and maintaining a network like this, and there's expenses related to the installation of equipment. And we've taken on this project with North Georgia ARA,
Right.
Amateur Radio Association. So the ARA project is also expensive, but that's going to get funded by its own membership, and that will take care of its own.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm excited about the opportunity for North Georgia ARA and what that offers in terms of, if you came here because you're looking for alternative communications, it's a perfect excuse to also become a member of North Georgia ARA, because if there's an issue that would interfere with the operations in North Georgia GMRS, that's just another band that you can operate in.
Yeah.
So I'm in.
You're a member.
I'm in 2 bands, and I don't even play an instrument.
I'm a roadie.
Yeah. So
No.
I think that's pretty exciting.
But I am in both bands.
Yeah.
I'm a roadie for both bands.
For both bands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to have the roadies to to help
The grunts.
to help carry the equipment, the suitcases, the guitars, the amplifiers, the repeaters, and the heliacs. That heliacs can be heavy.
1 5/8, right?
Oh yeah, a couple 100 feet of that in a roll is a lot to move around. So we definitely need the roadies for that. All right. I think that pretty well covers it. I'd just like to encourage everyone to go ahead and put in your renewal early so that you don't forget. If anybody does forget, and somebody certainly will. I mean, this happens every year.
It's the holiday season sometimes, too.
Yeah, lots of stuff
Get busy.
Going on. And if money's tight, let us know, all right? Because what I don't want to have happen is that we get to the end of the year and you haven't renewed and you haven't said anything to us that you intend to remain. And so we're going to see a certain number. We're going to see about a third of our membership not renew. We expect that.
Right.
But we are going to reallocate those tactical unit numbers for new members.
Yeah, I don't want to lose it. If you've had it for a couple years, you kind of get used to it. You don't
Right.
want to lose it.
Right, but if you're done with it, we need to make use of it again. So we will do that. And what sometimes will happen is somebody becomes upset because their tactical unit number becomes allocated to someone else in January because they didn't renew in time. So if money's tight and that's why you're not renewing, let us know that you want to come back, and we'll put an identifier
Email
on your TAC number so that we don't recycle it.
They can email you or Gary.
Yeah, they can send an email to me or to Gary. Preferably send it to Gary because he's more involved. And if you send it to me, I'll just forward it to him, or the dog might eat my homework.
Well,
that could happen. So really, Gary is your best contact. If you think you're going to be tight on your budget, but you want to remain, you got to let us know. So an email to Gary at nggmrs.org, or an email to me, and I most likely will forward it to Gary because he's the one that's going to be handling that roster chore anyway. So, but either one of those contacts will get it done.
And you can get that off the website too if you need that email address.
Yeah, and I mean, worst case scenario, you can send an email to support.
Correct.
Support goes to a handful of people, 4 or 5 of us that get that email. So you lose that.
And you might forget to forward it, but somebody else will.
You lose that discretion, right? So if you want to reach somebody discreetly and you don't want a lot of people to know that that you're begging for, a free ride for a minute,
right?
And that's something that's available too. Sometimes we have scholarship or sponsored memberships from members. So if that's something that you need, let us know, and we'll see what we can do.
We've all been in a pinch before.
That's right. That's right. Now, our rules say that you can only do that once. So if you're, on a scholarship or a sponsored membership this year, you can ask, but and I don't know who's who when it comes to that. You can't really tell. Let's break. You can't really tell by looking at the membership roster, who's getting that that kind of help in their membership. So I don't know who is and who isn't, and I don't have access to those records. I've just never asked. So and I'm probably not going to because I don't need to know.
No,
it's not something that affects the way that I operate. So, but we will try our best to keep that information close at hand. Like I say, if you contact me, I'm going to have to share it with Gary. But if you don't want me to know about it, just send an email directly to Gary, and that'll work too. So, all right. What did we miss?
Nothing.
Nerdy stuff.
Nerdy stuff.
We're going to talk about some nerdy stuff. But before we talk about nerdy stuff, let's see if we have any additional check-ins to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. I think at this time we're going to continue with check-ins. And see, did we get... Yeah, we got Flip in there. We'll talk to you here in just a little bit, Flip. Looking forward to that. All right. We'll take check-ins from any repeater other than Flagship, Net Control. Oh, you know what I should do before we do that? Hold on 1 second here.
I'm holding.
Let me go ahead and acknowledge these YouTube check-ins. We've got a pretty good list of them right here. So we have Gainesville 43 David in Winder is a YouTube check-in. We have Atlanta 1155 Shanna in Canton is a
hang on, no.
YouTube check-in. Do you know that?
She'll get mad at me. No, she won't. But it's Shauna.
Oh, there's no U in there.
I know.
Oh.
I think she blames her mother.
Okay. All right. Shauna. All right. Shauna is a YouTube check-in that might or might not have something to do with Tony. We have WRWB802. Larry is a guest check-in tonight from Colorado. Glad to have you along with us. We have WRQG806. Oh, that's Denise. Atlanta 558 is YouTube check-in tonight. We also have Rome 11 Mark in Adairsville. We have WSJF982 Joe in Loganville, Georgia. We have Atlanta 785 Rick in Marietta. We have WRQE398 R Ferguson in Hayesville, Kansas. We've got, this looks like maybe a new one, WRZD727 Hatchet Jack in Cincinnati. I think that's just the first time I've seen that name, but I think I've seen that call before. And we have WRYR428 is, that's Atlanta 355. Damon in Canton is a YouTube check-in. And Tacoa39 Johnny in Cornelia, Georgia, also a YouTube check-in. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. We'll continue with check-ins from any repeater, anywhere, just as soon as we get this net control guy out of the way.
Can you bring up the log?
Where is that log?
So open a tab on any browser.
Well, we're close.
I'm checking in.
Hang on.
Oh, it's
Mouse
okay.
disappears to me all the
So
time.
look at your tabs down here.
Oh, so you think it's still here?
Yeah. So,
Even though it says
This
2020?
is
okay. So,
this is WRYE756 CW33. Tom and Bogart
Yeah,
checking in and checking out. This is
good. All right. So then,
Nerdy stuff. Okay.
All right. You just scroll down so
Down here.
This is
give it a few more because they're gonna
WRYU411 CW34. Checking in, checking out.
This is Whiskey Sierra Echo Hotel 971 Tacoma 60 checking in and staying in.
All right.
Is WSIY 399. This is Chris in Lula, just enjoying the net as a guest.
Glad to have you.
This is WRBC215 in Kingston, Charlie, checking in and staying in. Not a member yet.
Is Mike still logging?
Yeah. I think he said WRCV 215. Did you get that? Something like that. 925.
I know I'm getting a little better at hearing that number, but for a while I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
It was like my brain was turned off, and you started talking, and I'm like, what?
Right. Sometimes I catch it. And this, for me, it's hard to hear in that chair. Sometimes when the air is on, I can't hear any. I can't hear.
what's your call sign, Rogers?
WSAL 368.
AO?
WS. What is it? WSAL
L. 368.
368.
This is WSER647, Chattanooga 18, checking in.
Mr.
Mr. Vegan Trader?
Vegan Trader. Who's that? Huh? What happened?
Let's see. Did I miss it?
Mr. Vegan Trader?
Hey, y'all. I'm Roger's brother. Just checking you guys out. Good stuff.
Huh? Really?
Mr. Vegan Trader.
Okay. That sounds like my brother. Yeah. Wow.
Say hey to your brother.
Okay. I didn't know he was going to ever check in.
This is Chattanooga 12, WSGJ 730, Barry from Crandall, checking in.
Or send him a link, so we'll see.
Yeah. Wow.
Got to get new members somehow.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. We are a family operation.
I gave him one of my HTs, so
Did you?
you know.
Did you write the call sign down for him?
No.
Should. You maybe need to text it to him.
I think I told him so once.
This is WSKF 388 on the Lookout Mountain repeater from Ringgold, Georgia. Checking in, checking out.
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge this round of check-ins. We got some YouTube check-ins mixed in here. We've got Chattanooga 69, the Velvet Elvis from Las Vegas. That would be Ronnie, is a YouTube check-in tonight. And on RF, we have Chattanooga 84 Jim in Hickson is checking in tonight. CW33 Tom in Bogart is in and out. Atlanta 350 Ted in Tucker is in and out. CW34 Aaron in Athens is in and out. And we have Toccoa 60 Dr. Steven in Baldwin is in tonight. We have a guest check-in from WS... that's all we've got. We just missed the call sign is all. There wasn't anything wrong with the way you checked in. We just missed it thinking that we were going to hear a TAC number after that. So, Chris from Lula, we've got you in the log, and we'll be calling on you here after a bit. Atlanta 251, Frank in Alpharetta is a YouTube check-in. We have another guest, and we heard 925, Charlie in Kingston, is not yet a member. We missed the first part of your call, Charlie, but we can fix that when we get to you here. So stick around. Glad to have you along. Looking forward to talking with you. Chattanooga 18, Seth in Cleveland is in tonight. And we have WSAL 368. That call sign sounds familiar,
Awful
Rogers.
familiar. I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very familiar.
I wonder if that belongs to one of your relatives.
Yeah, so it looks like my brother Chris just logged in and checking us out. So
But it says Mr. Vegan Trader.
Hey, Chris.
Do you think Chris is who that is?
he is. He's a vegan and he does trade stocks and everything as well. So
That makes sense then.
that is definitely him, and he has one of my HTs right now. So
Fantastic. All right. Well, it looks like he's watching on the YouTube live stream. So, hey, Chris, Mr. Vegan Trader, glad to have you along. And next we have Rome 27, Terry in Menlo as a YouTube check-in. And on RF, we have Chattanooga 12, Barry in Crandall. And we have WSKF 388 is a guest check-in from Ringgold. We didn't get a name, but we do have your call sign. So
Welcome.
glad to have you here. Get your logged as in and out. And Columbus 25 is a YouTube check-in from Peter in West Point, Georgia. Those are the check-ins we have. At this time, we'll continue with check-ins from any repeater anywhere, including the flagship machine. And, of course, we'll grab some more YouTube check-ins as they come. Looks like there's a couple of them happening. Looks like one happening right now. That's going to be WRQD424. That's Jason in Hickson is a YouTube check-in. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us and standing by for additional check-ins. Any repeater anywhere.
This is WQYV 982, Noonan 119, Jim in Noonan, Georgia, checking in and out.
This is WSGS 735, Noonan 40, Arestas in Palmetto, Georgia. I'll be in and out.
This is WROB 245, Atlanta 849, Pamela in Duluth checking in by relay. Atlanta 848, Ernest is in and out.
All right, we've got a small group of additional check-ins here. We've got Noonan 119 Jim in Noonan is in and out. Noonan 40 Arestus in Palmetto in and out. Atlanta 849 Pamela in Duluth is in tonight, and Atlanta 848 Ernest in Duluth is in and out. We'll take one more round of check-ins when we get to the end of the roster before we close out tonight's program. And we'll also have an open floor for any questions or comments before we close tonight. So stick around for that. If you didn't get in, we'd love to hear from you. So be sure and stick around for that. But meanwhile, I think we can head up to the top of the roster. Before we jump into that, though, I wanted to check with you guys right here in the room for any nerdy tech that you guys might want to talk about for tonight's net. Rogers, do you have anything comes to mind?
Just two things. One is I love using my police scanner, just to scan frequencies and also to see public safety, what's going around in my neighborhood and the city. But also for Simplex, I use a topographic map. And so now instead of just eyeballing places or maybe taking out the compass, I look at different little ridges and things around me that are a lot higher than I thought or never would have even paid attention to. And so there are some spots that are literally like a few hundred feet from where I was at, and now I'm able to get out a little bit better.
So with a topo map, is that function available in Google Maps, or is there someplace special that is there a web page in particular that you go to for that?
Yeah, there is. It's a United States topographic map, but if you go to en-us.topographicmap or topographic-map.com, you can pull up your city, your area, and it's nice. It's color coded, and it shows the elevation and everything. So it's a lot of fun to kind of check out and see what's around you.
Do you smell that?
those brain cells burning.
Those are gear stripping in Tony's head. Trying to figure out how to do that and the four other things he's trying to do right now.
Yep.
What was that website again, Rogers?
It's
EN.
Tony's got it.
Finally.
I think we can just zoom into it and just keep clicking on Georgia. But en-us.topographic-map.com. And you just click to zoom. You can do it on a phone or a computer. I like using the computer. And it's color-coded. I love color codings. And it's color-coded. Red is good. And you can find like the highest elevation near you.
Let's break. Oh, very good. So you can look at the topo and you can see whether you're able to communicate with a simplex neighbor or with a repeater just based on what exists between you and the topo. Now, does that show structures, or is it just the elevations of the ground?
Yeah, it just shows elevation. When you get to the site, you'll see a nice color-coded legend on the right-hand side. And it shows the elevation in feet for your area. And so I just go to wherever the red is. And
let's cut to it and look at it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I think we might have the wrong one pulled.
I don't think that's the right one.
Oh, that's why you didn't cut to it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we'll get to it in a second.
We'll give Tony a chance to unstrip his gears here and see if he can find the right one. And then so that's a good resource. I think that could be a lot of fun, especially for the Simplex crew, the guys that like to do the Friday night stuff. So that could be it gives you a chance you can be sitting at your desk on a Friday afternoon waiting for the data to wane, and go ahead and grab that web page and then kind of plot out what your Simplex opportunities are going to be for that night. Especially if you're at a spot where you have bad coverage or no coverage at home, maybe you can go down the street and you can go to the parking lot at the coffee shop or at the donut shop or something like that. Don't go to Walmart because that's always in a hole.
It could be. But yeah, I usually go, and you'd be surprised. Just going a mile down the road,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can be 150 feet higher in elevation, and that's the equivalent of putting up a tower in your backyard.
Not many of us have a 150-foot tower. Tony, do you have one?
No, not in the least. And then, like, well, I know Mark goes up on Lavender Mountain every Friday night, just about. So
when it rains on Lavender Mountain, is that purple rain?
I don't know. I'm not up there. Mark's up there.
We'll have to ask Mark.
Well, Mark, is he checked in, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll ask Mark.
he's in here. We'll find out. All right. Okay. Well,
Hang on,
Tony,
we're almost there.
do you have any tech stuff that you're capable of processing in your brain at the moment?
The one that comes into mind is ham clock, because it shows a lot of propagation and that sort of thing and all that. I know there's a website you pull it up on a browser one of these times.
Yeah.
And all that. I think there's some SDRs out there.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Lumpkin County Schools has a SDR that you can listen to.
Okay.
And see how you sound or do a check.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
Oh.
that's all I got off the top of my head.
Okay. So how does that work then? You log into their webpage and you throw your call sign into it and then you can listen to it?
Yeah, I think it's Lumpkin County Schools. Dana's the one that got me onto it.
Okay.
It's a free website.
Let's break.
Maybe if Dana checks in, we can ask him a little bit more. But I think it's lumpkinschools.com, and then they have a web SDR that you can just listen to any band, any frequency that you want to.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Well, that's kind of neat. All right then. Good stuff.
Oh, and we do have that the map ready.
Oh, good.
To show.
Let's throw it up there.
Roger's got the map ready.
Yeah. Well, he's better at this than we are.
Much.
Slightly, just slightly. But
He's not even humble about it either.
No, not at all.
I'm kidding.
That's why his brother checked in.
But look, I've been in that chair for like almost
All
a
the
year.
time. Yeah,
so
I know.
can do that
I've been in there for
blindfolded.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Tony, just move
Just
it
do
to
this.
this screen, not that screen, that one. But
We're good.
But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, like you see that red there, that's like a ridge there. But you know, my location is like slightly to the south of that. So
Okay, so
I'm at about 1,000 feet where I live. But if I go down the road maybe a mile, I automatically get into that red area, which is maybe 1,000, almost 1,100 feet, 1,150 feet in elevation.
Yeah.
So that gives me another 150 feet of elevation when we do simplex.
Well, yeah, and so I see the blue color there shows you way down, 827 feet, and then you get into the pink part of the red, and you're at 1,201 feet. So yeah, depending on what part of the map you're in. And you can click on the map and it'll show you your specific elevation right
Yes.
there. Oh,
That
that's
is very
nice.
Yeah, and you can
So-
go down all the way down to the parking lot of a movie theater. It gets
Really?
like all the way in. You can just
Wow.
go. You can see houses.
Oh, so there's a movie theater here in Woodstock that's way up on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it's
It
way
is.
up,
Wow.
and that would be a great location to do simplex work from. So right
Oh,
there off of
nice.
Town Lake, it's probably the highest point along Town Lake.
Very nice.
So very cool. All right, so good stuff. That looks like a great simplex resource. So with that in mind, let's cruise on over to Cleveland and see what Bobby's got going on over at the Vortex. Atlanta 403. Bobby?
Good evening there, folks. Yeah, I wouldn't call all this stuff we use as nerdy. I think it's more like essential things to get the job done and learn new things. I mean, yeah, why call it nerdy? It's kind of cool. And I use most everything you've been talking about and whatever more I can find. And, yeah, just to get radio programming, and I don't need to look at my high spots on the topo map because I've been doing this 9 years and I know I ain't getting out. So, but yeah, you know, I mean, all the tools you can get on the internet and wherever else, everything's a plus. Everything's good, not nerdy.
But you know, he has a flip phone too.
So he not only does he have the flip phone from 1984, the Motorola track phone. Do you remember those?
Mm-hmm.
The great big. He has a Zenith Star Command remote control.
Really? I'd like to see that.
And he thinks he's not a nerd. He
Good
brought,
hearing
he
from
brought
you,
it
Bobby.
he brought it to the Hamfest one year to show it to me. So, do you know what that remote is?
No, I don't.
So there are buttons on a remote, like most remotes would have.
Right.
But rather than producing an RF signal or an infrared signal, this remote produces ultrasonic tones.
And it changes the TV?
Yes. So each button produces a different tone. It's high enough that we don't hear it. At least I can't hear it. Bobby, can you hear it? I bet he can't hear it, but we'll ask him here in just a moment. And so if you have that TV, it has a microphone and it listens for those tones and it behaves.
It's got to be a console TV, isn't
based
it?
on it probably weighs 600 pounds, and it's probably in a cabinet that's 5 feet wide and 3 feet deep, and it has, I'll bet you, a 19-inch tube.
Yeah, we're showing our age.
Yeah, Bobby, is that about right?
Yeah, I don't think it was a console TV. It wasn't a big box. It had the 4 legs on it. It wasn't a big console thing. It wasn't all that wasn't a black and white. That was a colored Zenith. And yeah, I can hear still some of the tones that the remote makes. And I think there's a picture of us at I think that was TechFest. And there's a picture of you holding it in front of me or something. But yeah, it's something pretty cool I kept all these years. But yeah, okay. All right, you got me there. All right, that's a little nerdy to keep something for 50-something years. But, yeah, it was kind of cool. So, yeah, I like it. No problem. But I just think the whole world of this stuff isn't nerdy. It's just cool stuff.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is cool stuff. And the Zenith, I think that was called the Star Command. You know, what a brilliant piece of ahead of its time technology. All right, because let's face it, back in those days, the remote control was, you know, to send your kid across the carpet and go change the channel. Go over there and Tommy, go turn the channel. Tommy, go turn the volume up. Tommy, that's too loud. Tommy, you know, you send the kid over there to and that was your remote. That was how we operated TVs in the 60s and 70s, and this device was just ahead of its game, ahead of its time, in so many ways. So, very cool stuff. And you know, to have that whole thing came up as a conversation on the air one night, and then a couple weeks later we were at the Tech Fest when Bobby produced this. So you know what's coming up in January?
Another Tech Fest?
The Tech Fest.
Excellent.
And
Bobby, you got to bring it.
This could be your opportunity to see the Zenith Star Command and see whether or not you can hear it. I can't hear it.
Well, I don't think he could send a picture of it with that flip phone, but maybe he'll bring it to Tech Fest.
Yeah, you'll have to come to Tech Fest because as nerdy as Bobby is, he does not have a modern phone.
No.
In fact, I don't know whether the Zenith Star Command is newer or older than the phone he carries, but it certainly is one or the other. There's no doubt about that. So good stuff, Bobby. Thanks for that, and appreciate your comments. So, and Bobby's point really is that, you know, to us it's not nerdy at all.
No, it's not.
But you know, when you're walking around with a Star Command in your pocket,
yes.
I think that other people are going to look at that and think, you know, not only does he have the CERT vest on and a radio in his hand and some kind of an antenna or microphone clip to his vest, but he's also got this 1960s era remote control. So I think, Bobby, a lot of people are going to see that and say, dude, you are the nerd of nerds. So, but it's all good. I think I think that we're all nerds to a degree.
We're all having fun.
Yeah. So, all right, with that, let's continue on. We have Atlanta 780 Houston in Australia. He's on the Buckhead machine tonight. Now, this is the coolest nerd of all time. Houston, what have you got for us?
Hi, good evening, Justin. We don't have much to say about being nerdy. you've been to my house before. You know what kind of a nerd I am. I've got the first cell phone that I ever had that I believe it comes from Radio Shack, and about the size of a brick, but of course it doesn't work anymore. But I think all of us nerds ought to stick together.
Well, I'd have to agree. And, you know, that cell phone probably doesn't work anymore because my guess is it's analog. I don't know how Bobby gets his old track phone to work, but somehow it does. Was that phone one that, did you carry that around in a canvas bag?
No, not that one, but I've got one of those down in the basement too. That was my second phone.
All right. Yeah, that was my first phone, the bag phone. And bought that for business purposes. And I don't know that we probably made a couple of business calls on it, but it was just the coolest thing in the world to have back in those days. It was expensive. And I think that's probably why I only had it for, I think it was a 1-year contract. Just couldn't justify the expense, you know, in business expense.
The per minute charge.
Yeah, just couldn't justify it at that time. But it was a neat thing to have for the period of time that I had it. I believe I had to return the phone. I don't think I kept it. I think I had to give it back when we terminated that agreement. But yeah, that would have been 1980. 88, 87, 88, 86, somewhere in that range. And yeah, that was a minute ago, but
yeah,
I think that was about the beginning of the cell phone era.
Was it that early?
Yeah, yeah, it would have been right around there.
I was thinking 90.
I think that everybody had a phone by the 90s, but I think that was the time when only the coolest kids had one. And I wanted to be one of those cool kids.
You're still one of the cool kids.
And I bought a phone, but it didn't work. Not for that, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good stuff. Houston, do you have anything else for us?
No, sir. I think I bought that one in '87. It's kind of a half brick from Radio Shack, but that was also supposed to be a business phone. And most of the time it was, but a lot of times I used to call home on it. But yes, sir, that was some good old days. I'm going to have to check out, and it's close to my bedtime. So y'all have a great net, and I'll listen to what I can, and we'll catch you a little later. WQUV 439 780.
All right, Houston. It's great hanging out with you. Glad to hear you back on the air, and look forward to the next opportunity. Thank you for that. Next on our list, we have Atlanta 26 Flip in the beautiful Druid Hills. Flip, what kind of nerdy gadgets and devices might you? I think Flip had a Ham Shack hotline. Is that the truth, or am I imagining things?
You know, it's funny. I was just reminiscing about that myself, and when I got mine hooked up, I was all excited to use it, so I tried calling Atlanta 123 Tim, and I got no answer. And then I thought, well, I'll call Justin. So I looked you up, I called your number, and I get a voicemail that says, if I ever listen to this message, I might call you back.
Oh, that's likely true. Voicemail is one of those things that I just absolutely, I really despise voicemail. It's the worst invention that there ever was. You know, back in the 80s, when you made a phone call, someone, you know, if you're calling a business, someone would answer the phone.
Right.
And you might get put on hold, but you would within a couple of minutes be talking to somebody that could handle whatever situation that you had.
Not anymore.
And if you were calling an individual, you know, you could leave a message, but chances are, even back when we had the cordless phones, do you remember those?
Mm-hmm.
The cordless phones even kept a little log of who called while you were away.
I remember when caller
calls.
ID came out.
Yeah, yeah. So the whole leave a message thing is kind of unnecessarily redundant. And the thing that really bugged me about voicemail was the password prompts and all the hoops that you had to jump through just to be able to listen to your voice. Nowadays, if you don't answer the phone, someone will leave a message on your phone and it gets emailed. It gets converted to text and emailed to you as a as something you can read. Now that's pretty cool.
But you still don't respond, do you?
Usually no, because here's the thing: is if I'm available to talk on the phone,
I would
have
have
answered it.
Yeah.
And if I'm not available to talk on the phone, I know that I owe you a phone call because I can see that I missed your call. So I'm not going to listen to the voicemail. I'm just going to call you back. And by the time I see the email, it's probably the next day or a day later. So I most likely have either decided I'm not calling you or I have already called you back. In either case, the email is a cool redundancy, but it
Well, then you just got to go delete it. So then you got another task to do.
yeah, and that's really, and that's so if you call my phone, now I've never set up voicemail on the cell phone. So for the longest time, if you called and it went to voicemail, it would say you've called someone who has a voicemail account that's not been set up. But somewhere along the way, Verizon decided that I needed to have voicemail set up, and they did it for me.
Nice.
So if you call and leave a voicemail on my phone now, I'm never going to listen to it. I will. You can say whatever you want. You can say nice things, and you can say not nice things. Whatever you say, I'm never going to listen to that. And it seems like sometimes that stuff gets rolled over to voicemail, and sometimes or to email, but sometimes it doesn't. So, but I don't listen to voicemails. If I see the call and I recognize the number, I'll call you back. But I get so few actual phone calls anymore. Let me break. Because we all communicate with text messaging now.
It's text.
Yeah,
Everything's a text.
If we're engaged in a text conversation that seems like we could be more efficient or effective. I mean, how many times have you had a chat back and forth with somebody, you're just waiting for them to finish typing that out because you know you're going to have to reply, but you've got 4 things you'd like to be doing instead. So sometimes a phone call can really speed up that process.
I'm sure Flip's waiting to push the PTT button too.
Oh, he'll never get a chance once I'm on the air. But yeah, voicemail. So he called my Ham Shack hotline, 11313, and I didn't answer. Continue, please.
Well, it was just kind of funny. I actually kind of thought that was a cool network of phones, but alas, none of us really used it, so I don't really blame them for turning the server off. I'm trying to think what else. I do use Echo Link now and then. It's kind of fun. I enjoy popping out of a VHF repeater, somewhere else far away. I communicate with people all over the world with that. I have clients in Africa I have clients in Western Europe, and of course up in the Northeast I've been able to talk with people there too. So it's kind of fun. I enjoy that. I think someday GMRS will be like that as well. Like you'll be able to pop out of a repeater through the internet and talk to somebody, or at least key up in a or other than around here.
Yeah, I think there's changes coming in the world of GMRS. I think that we're still wideband. We're probably the last service left that is wideband. So at some point we're probably going to get repacked, and hopefully when that happens, we can get maybe a couple more repeater pairs and a couple more channels, and maybe even some repeater pairs that are dedicated to DMR.
Nice.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
To be able to have a mix of analog and DMR.
Well, all families don't live in the RF world, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we can do digital voice with far less bandwidth than it takes to do analog voice. Mm-hmm. And so we could probably get 2 or 3, 4 or 5, 6 digital channels in the same footprint as one analog channel. And so I think it just makes sense. And in light of the movement towards digital communications anyway. And one thing we found is that you get into noisy environments, digital can make it through in some situations where analog cannot. Now, the higher your bandwidth requirements, the less success you're going to have getting through in a noisy environment. But I mean, sometimes you can still get a signal through as a digital message, whereas you just couldn't do that in analog. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So I think that being able to drop in on a repeater someplace other than where you're at, once we get to that digital realm, I think is highly likely. In amateur radio, Echolink is a really cool tool because it allows you to have a presence near a repeater, even though you're not there.
I've not dabbled into that yet. I'm in the DMR, but I haven't, not the Echolink.
So if there's a net that you'd like to participate in,
Yeah.
that's a great way to be able to jump in on a particular radio club's net, because you don't necessarily have to be within range if they have an Echolink service on their repeater.
Nice.
So and I've done that many times. I used to be pretty regular on the Coweta County Amateur Radio Club net. I was a member there for a while, and would participate in communications on their repeater. I could actually hit that repeater with RF from here on good days.
Yeah.
But I could hit it full quiet through Echolink.
Nice.
So that's a great suggestion. Thanks for that, Flip. Do you have anything else you'd like to share? Do you have any tools or cool gadgets that you want to make mention of?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I did want to ask you guys, though, maybe this is not appropriate, but if it's not, then move on. But I was just curious. I wasn't able to make the Hamfest, so I wondered what the debrief was on that. How y'all thought it went, and was it well attended, and how are the vendors and all that? If you have a brief moment to talk about it.
Well, I think the Hamfest was highly successful on Saturday.
Yeah, the boneyard was packed.
It was booming. Now, I've seen the boneyard fuller in years past, but there was a good representation in the boneyard. So I was pleased to see that. On Sunday, how many vendors were in the boneyard? 4?
Maybe 5.
4 or 5.
And I think they slept there overnight.
Yeah, so the only vendors that we really saw in the boneyard on Sunday, I think we saw one U-Haul truck roll in.
Mm-hmm. But I think he was picking somebody else's stuff up.
Oh, he was picking stuff up. So, yeah, I think that the very few vendors that were there on Sunday were there because they camped out. And so there was a row of campers in the back row, and there were a number of campers up there by the building from the actual regular vendors. But I think that we did all right. There were a couple of vendors that were absent. I would like to have seen of the regular vendors that we typically see in the exhibition hall.
It fell on a hard weekend too.
It really did. You know, for instance, Julie was in Alabama because she wanted to go trick or treating with a grandbaby, and I think that because of that, that may have been the case for a lot of folks that they had.
Yeah, I can't imagine if it was on a regular weekend how packed it would have been Saturday, because it was pretty good slammed on Saturday for me. Yeah, my first.
Yeah. So there's some talk about maybe altering the schedule in the future. I don't know that.
Well, I don't think next year it won't land on Halloween, will it?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
I don't believe so. But and maybe that's something they should just look at. But quite honestly, I think that the Stone Mountain Hamfest could be a very successful one-day Hamfest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they really need to do 2 days. I think a lot of Hamfests have a busy day and a not so busy day, and historically, even when there was significant activity on Sunday at the Stone Mountain Hamfest, that wrapped up generally by noon. And so I think that that's something that we can expect, is you really do get one good day in there, and that's probably going to be Saturday. So it was a successful Hamfest as far as I would say, and I look forward to seeing what happens at Stone Mountain Hamfest next year. North Georgia GMRS will definitely be there. Are you going to be there?
I will be there.
Yeah?
Well,
Rogers, you think you'll make it?
knock on wood.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I try to make it out to as, and that was my second Hamfest altogether. So had a pretty good time.
Very good, very good. I got to figure out what Bobby's trying to tell me here. Toccoa still times out. Yeah, I think it's always going to, and I don't know that there's a software setting that we can change there. So, well, Bobby can't hear me because
It timed out.
we probably timed out. So we're at 3 minutes, Bobby. Can you hear me now? So Bobby didn't hear that at all, and
Nope.
that's what he's trying to convey. So apparently, when our light starts blinking, Bobby can't hear us anymore. So wait until the light blinks before you say anything about Bobby.
Okay.
All right. Flip, did you have anything else?
No, sir. Have a good evening. Thank you for allowing me to participate here tonight, and I'll be checking out.
All right, glad to have you along, and hope to see you on the air more often. Hear you on the I can see him because Flip has the ultra secret login because
Does
he used to help out with net control from time to time. So
We might be calling on that more and more now.
we might, yeah. Flip, are you interested in getting back in the game?
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm happy to help. Just let me know what works, and we can chat.
All right.
All right, that sounds good.
Good deal.
Lots of opportunities brewing, so we'll definitely be in touch. With that, let's move on to Chattanooga 260 Colt in downtown
Christmas.
Dalton. Colt, what have you got for us? What kind of nerdy
Party.
stuff?
Christmas party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a nerdy party.
Nerdy party. That's what it is. Tech party.
Oh, yeah. Daddy's home. Chattanooga 260, WSTM 494, coming to you from the carpet capital of the world, downtown Dalton, Georgia.
Nice.
That being said, looks like the Christmas party is going to be somewhere around downtown Dalton, near 129 East Morris Street. Date to be confirmed. I know Justin will be dressing up as Santa Claus. So if you're looking to get a picture taken with Santa Claus, or if you'd like to sit in his lap, donations will be accepted for North Georgia GMRS and some other foundation. That being said, the nerdy things that I'm into lately is I picked up an old school Panasonic FZ-M1. It's a little 7-inch Panasonic tablet that I have it paired with a keyboard. I have it switched over to Linux, which is kind of cool, and I'm running a software called MCOM Tools. It's emergency communication tools is basically what it is. It's developed by a guy named Tech Prepper in Phoenix, Arizona. If you're on the HF side, if you're your technician in general or an extra, there's a lot of things you can do there. Basically, you can do mesh tastic over HF, which is called WinLink or JS8 call, where we can send messages or emails over radio frequencies, which is even cooler, which is pre-programmed on this little tablet. And the coolest thing about this little tablet is the fact that, one, it's small, but two is going to be, hey, a lot of times on these radio nets, when we're thinking about our emergency communication, is like, we're just going to say, hey, who's out there? Can you hear me? Can you come help me? But that's not normally why we sign up for these for emergency communication ways. What it's allowing us to do is, hey, I want to talk to someone in Phoenix, Arizona, right? How do I do that? What frequencies can I do that? And at what times is the band going to allow that to occur? So what you do is you enter that person's call sign. That gives you a grid square, and it automatically has your grid square and your call sign assigned to it. Then it lists all the different bands, 6 meters, 10 meters, 40, whatever. And it tells you every hour on Zulu what the band conditions will be from A to F. And it tells you when you can make a targeted contact. So if you've got family members in Chicago, you can enter their zip code, and it'll tell you at what frequencies and at what times you can make communications with that person. All offline, no internet required. It's a true emergency communication, continuity of government type situation. Back to you, net control. And Justin, I'm looking forward to having that Christmas picture taken with you and seeing Santa Claus laugh.
I don't know what to say about
No.
Santa Claus. Yeah. Well, and that reminds me, I do need to reach out to Bernard,
Yes.
one of the elves at the North Pole, and find out what our plans are for Santa this year. Every year so far, we've been able to have a special night for the kids to be able to come on the air and have a chat with Santa. So something that we've been able to do for a number of years. Usually Atlanta 810. Yeah, John. Usually John puts that together, and he works with Bernard in coordinating a time to get Santa on the air. We have a special node that we have shipped up to the North Pole. If you look at our node map during the Santa Net, you will see that node activate right there at the North Pole. And Santa comes on the air and speaks to our youth. So it's a great opportunity to get your kids and your grandkids on the air, and they can talk directly to Santa. They can ask him any question. Santa gives some fantastic answers. I think I've heard the questions from the kids a number of times in a row now, and I think I know what questions they're going to ask. But it's always a lot of fun to listen.
I know my grandkids listened last year.
Yeah. Did they come on the air?
I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't even know if I was a member yet.
But
But I know we were listening.
I would suggest that even if you're not a member, if you have a valid FCC call sign, you could have your kids talk to Santa on the Santa Net. So I don't have any details for this yet. Like I say, I need to reach out to John and see if he's made contact with Bernard, or if I'm going to do that this year. I used to do it, and then John kind of took it over, and so let me check in with him and see where that stands. And I'll have to have John ship the note out to the North Pole so that we can make that happen, because it doesn't stay up there. We have to ship it out each time.
Right.
They're afraid they're going to lose it.
Yep.
I can't imagine why.
Wrap it in a present.
Yeah.
Give it away.
Yeah, it would end up. Who knows where it would end up? Yeah, it may end up as a Christmas present for Chattanooga 260.
Maybe.
But it's hard to say. But we'll definitely be exploring that. And as far as November 15, I don't know what my availability is for that, but we'll take a look at that, and I'll start making some motion. And if you're going to have a Christmas party at 129 East Morris Street in Dalton, Georgia, maybe somebody's going to have to show up. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
If we're gonna put it on, we're gonna put it on, right?
Who's bringing the eggnog?
No, I don't do eggnog.
Yeah, you can say anything you want to about Bobby right now.
Okay. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. All right. All right, Colt. I don't know if we timed out for you, but we certainly did time out for Bobby.
Sorry, Bobby.
That was just a test. Okay, let's continue on. We've got McDonough 22 Tim in Stockbridge. Tim, what nerdy tools do you want to share with us? You gonna make it?
Well, I don't know if I got any nerdy tools specifically at the moment, but several things y'all talked about tonight have brought to mind a lot of things from the past. I've always kind of been a gadget freak, so any kind of new gadget that came along and everything, I was always into new gadgets. Whether when the transistor radio come out, when I was a kid, had to have a transistor radio, so on and so forth. But you talking about Bobby's remote control thing, that reminded me of a TV I had, and I don't know if that thing used ultrasound or what, but it was a TV that I had back, years ago, probably late 80s, I guess it was. And there was only 3 channels, I think, 2, 5, and 11 VHF, and then you had 17, 36, and 46 maybe, and maybe channel 8 and 30. I can't remember how many UHF channels it had, but this thing had a remote on it, and all it had was volume up and volume down and channel up and channel down on it. I think it was a Philco, or it might have been a Zenith, I don't know. But, of course, there were no electronic tuners back in those days. So when you would press the channel up button, the channel knob on the TV would physically move. There was a motor inside there that would just click, 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 and you had to sit there and watch that thing click. If you were going from 5 to 11, you know, you had to go 6 clicks all the way up to channel 11 to get there. And at the time, I mean, that was cutting edge technology. We thought that was cool because by that time my kid had grown up and I didn't have a kid to go change the channel for me anymore. Let me break. And yes, I still do in the drawer in my living room. I still have my very first cell phone. Of course, it's analog. It's an audio box and has a little antenna that you pull up on it. It was my first phone. I bought it for $100 at a pawn shop because I couldn't afford, you know, like go to a store and buy a brand new phone. So I bought this one. It was a second-hand phone. I bought it, and I just wanted to be able to call my wife and stuff, you know, occasionally. And I had to hook up with Bell South, and my minutes cost $1 a minute. Can you imagine that? Wow, that was tough. So I just only used that thing in emergencies and everything. But as far as nerdy stuff, websites and tools and things, you hardly ever see it mentioned on our Facebook page or anywhere else. But there's a site called Miklor.com, MIKLOR.com. I'm sure most people are familiar with it. Most of us are familiar with it. I don't, you know, new people might not be. But on the Miklor.com site, he's just got all kinds of tons of information there about radios and antennas. He's always doing reviews on the newest equipment that comes out, antennas and radios and how they match up, and how to build an antenna. He's got just tons of information about anything GMRS or ham on there, and the radios, all the different handhelds. He's reviewed just about everything. And then of course there's the YouTube channel that we all either love or hate so much. Not Rubicon. Randy on YouTube has what, you know, I love his sense of humor. Some people he just can't stand him. So like I said, he's a guy you either love him or you hate him. I love his sense of humor and love watching his things on there. But oh yeah, the bank phone, cell phone. I worked for a doctor painting on the weekends, and when he would come out, you know, to the lake house that we were painting and finishing for him on the weekends, he had his bank phone with him, and Lord knows I don't know how many dollars that thing cost. You know, I think that thing probably cost $1,000, and I don't know how much he paid for his minutes. But I remember the bank phones certainly, and everything. So that's pretty much it from Stockbridge. Just about all the tools and things that I can remember. But I'll throw it back to net control.
Good stuff, Tim. Yes, and lots of, you know, and it's not just lately. I mean, there's always been nerdy stuff for radio enthusiasts and electronics, gadget folks. We've always had things that we could tinker with, and
we were the remote for the while, so I think that's why we're techies.
Well, I mean,
at least I was.
That is true. Back in those days,
yes.
You know, you had to. Now, unfortunately, where I live, the channels were UHF. So you had the knob that had the million clicks.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that the folks that lived in the VHF world that only had, you know, like 13 channels that they could roll through. But was it 13? I think it was 13. Was it 15?
13. I think you're right. 13.
Whatever it was, you know, with one twist of the dial, you could get through them pretty quick. But you know, we had channel 15, 21, 33, and PBS was on 39. And so that was a pretty decent range. And then when I was about maybe 10 years old, a brand new station showed up, and it was channel 55. 55. And you had to go all the way from 33.
Turn.
And you would always stop at channel 39, and there would be some, you know, Animal Kingdom thing or some PBS show on 39. You look at that for just long enough to decide, no, I'm not going to watch that.
Keep going.
And go all the way over to Channel 55. Channel 55 had cartoons on in the afternoon.
Wow.
So when you get home from school, you could watch Popeye, you could watch Bugs Bunny, the Coyote and the Roadrunner. Oh yeah,
yes,
the good stuff,
the good ones.
Yeah. So, but you had to work to get there. You had to go all the way up to 55, and then when you're done watching TV, if you don't put it back on at least all the way down to 33, you'd get yelled at.
Mm-hmm.
But 55 was the cool station. That became Fox later, but it was an independent when it first came on the air.
I don't remember the numbers.
And 55 was the station that, they had all the cool old movies. Nothing current, but there was always something cool to watch on that channel. Whereas all the network channels just had whatever network stuff, that program from far, far away stuff. So, I always dug that about Channel 55. They're in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Nice.
So
nice.
we've got what's his name here? I'm trying to follow along here. There's so much.
So you kind of jumping around, aren't you?
Yeah, all over the place. So there's so much stuff here in the YouTube chat. But So Peachy has made several comments about old radios. I wanted to grab.
Okay.
So he's got an old Sony that he picked up I think he picked it up at a ham fest.
Yeah.
That he's using for, it's a Sony ICF 2002. Let me break. So it's an AM FM SW World Band receiver from 1983.
Nice.
Says he got it at a ham fest for $15.
Wow.
It's beat up, but it works. And, that's a neat radio because that back in the 80s when Sony built that radio, they built that radio with a high-quality tuner section. So that radio is one that would be worth hanging on to, even probably worth putting in the shop to get new capacitors in it when the time comes, because that's going to be a high-quality tuner in that radio. So he's been listening to all sorts of stuff and monitoring with that radio. He also talks about collecting vintage radios. The oldest one he has is an Emerson Bakelite AM-SW radio from 41. The tubes are still working to this very day.
Wow. Well, I was surprised at the Hamfest of all the tubes being sold still.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That kind of, I was like, being new to this.
Right.
I was like, wow, who still has those?
A lot of people. I mean, so the guitar amplifier world, they still manufacture tubes for those amplifiers. You can still get brand new, freshly manufactured tubes for amplifiers. And there's a handful of the more esoteric tubes that are still manufactured. But for some of those old vintage TVs and radios, the only place you're going to find those tubes is going to be at a place like a Hamfest. Some of those tubes are no longer manufactured, but there's people that have cases and cases of old vacuum tubes that, when a radio shop closed out or when a TV store closed out, they got all the stuff out of the service department, and so that stuff still exists. And you may be able to find a 50-year-old or a 75-year-old vacuum tube, brand new in the box, and it still works. Although you might have to buy 2 or 3, because if any of those tubes have lost their vacuum, then the tube will work only for a moment before it erupts in smoke and disappointment. So good stuff. Thanks for those contributions, So Peachy. And he's got more stuff in here. I just can't keep up with it.
Happy hunting.
While we're on the air. Yeah. He says he's seen these types of TVs here on YouTube. The oldest one is from 1962. It's a GE. I think that might have been when we were talking about the Space Command remote.
Nice.
And he's got some more transistor radios from the 60s. So he's got quite the collection going on. And it'd be neat to see. So he also mentions VHF was channel 2 through 13. That's correct. I don't remember channel 1. It would have been channel 2.
I don't remember. Yeah, there was 2. Always started at 2.
Yeah. So that's how you got your baker's dozen.
Or your gaming system had to be on 3, I think it was.
That's right.
Atari.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and the VCR on 4.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's how that worked. So, all right. Well, good stuff. And let's see. Where were we? We were at Tim. That makes Mr. Olympus next. Dana, Atlanta 250. What kind of nerdy gadgets do you have high atop the mountain? I'll bet he's got one of those. He's got one of those pistol grip.
Well, he got a new radio
Sticks with a
too. Is that
reacher.
what I heard through the grapevine?
You know, you got the pistol grip, and
Right.
it's got the little
trigger.
Yeah,
The
it's got
PTT button?
fingers on the end, so you can
So
sit
he
in
can
his
reach
chair
out and grab stuff.
and grab the HT that's on the other counter. I bet he's got one of those.
Or get his next battery.
Yeah, the next battery. Yeah, I would imagine he probably goes through some batteries. What do you think, Atlanta 250?
Well, y'all are making me laugh. But before I start, good evening to you, Justin, and Rogers and Tony. I wrote it on the YouTube page. You're doing a great job. Don't worry about it. Anyway, you know what? The one thing you guys
I paid him to
never,
say that.
first of all, factoid.
Not very
First
much.
cellular
No.
phone call ever, 1973. The second thing is y'all haven't mentioned rabbit ears. On the TV set. The Sony Trinitron, black and white, only had 4 channels, but those rabbit ears, man. My dad used to make me stand behind that TV for a good long while. Let me reset. Other than that, I got enough radios. Like Tony said, I bought a new radio, and it's SDR, and it's going to keep me busy for some time to come. It has more buttons and switches than I'm used to. So, and Bobby, he might try to say he's not a nerd, but he's like the king nerd.
I love Bobby.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the king nerd. He's more like the court jester of nerds, but certainly he is without a doubt an absolute nerd. Now you mentioned the rabbit ear antenna, and where I grew up out in the county, far enough from town, you couldn't pick up anything with the rabbit ears. I mean, forget it. Just not going to happen. So we had an antenna that was on top of a mast that was almost as long as the roof was wide. And every now and then we had to go out and grab that mast and give that antenna just a little bit of a rotation, a little bit of a turn, because the wind would blow it
Right.
out of alignment with all of our TV stations were grouped within a small area.
I remember my grandparents having some kind of box, and you'd have to go up there and turn it north, south, east, or west, and that thing would turn for them.
Right.
So, wow, we thought that was nice.
That
We
was-
didn't have to turn it by hand.
That was high end.
Mhm.
Now, all of our stations were in the same general area. There were some stations out of Toledo, Ohio, in Bowling Green, Ohio, that we could get off the back end of that Yagi.
Were you getting Dayton?
No, we couldn't get Dayton, but we did get, like I say, Bowling Green. But that was one of those evangelical stations.
Yeah.
So they were always asking for money. And then there was whatever the station was in Toledo it was like a it wasn't PBS. It was like local college access TV, or it was you remember Wayne's World?
Mhm.
It was a TV station that would have produced that show legitimately from somebody's basement. It would have fit in perfectly there. So we didn't watch very much of that, but we did get that off of the back end of that Yagi. I bet that Yagi was probably 12 feet long. It was a very large antenna, but that's what it took for us to be able to get a decent signal out of Fort Wayne. Now, my antenna here, I do have a TV antenna. We watch TV channels. Do you believe that? We get WSB and Channel 5, and Channel 11, Channel 46
HD though,
off
right?
the air.
Yeah, HD.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're digital, and it is nice, and it's free, but you've got to have an antenna. But the antenna that I have here is tiny compared to what we had on the farm back in the day, and I believe I'm actually farther away from Atlanta than my folks were
Yeah.
from Fort Wayne. At least it takes longer to make that drive.
I remember my grandparents having a tower We had a tower beside the house. It was attached to the house, and got in trouble for climbing up on the roof.
Right.
But anyway,
Right. Yeah. Out there, everyone had a tower. Let me break. Virtually everyone had a 30-foot tall tower that would just get up over the roof line a little ways, and a lot of people had rotators, but we didn't have that. We didn't have a tower. We just had some steel pipe as a mast. Living in a single-story ranch, we were able to get up over the roof and seem to do the job. Maybe if there was a tower, he wouldn't have had to have 12 feet of beam on however many elements that Yagi had, but it was a massive antenna, just huge. So, all right, cool stuff. Well, Dana, do you have anything else before we move on?
No, I rekeyed back up after that small delay, and I think we doubled a little bit. But, yeah, I was just pointing out the fact that Bobby, who says he's not a nerd, he's like, he's like me. He's right up there. He's the king nerd. Anyway, great job tonight, guys. Just always love kicking back listening. So, turn it back over to you.
All right, well, listen good, because this next little bit is going to be the highlight, I think, of the evening, because we're going to talk with Mr. Meshtastic, Atlanta 557, Ed. He actually sent some pictures ahead, so if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have some play along here. Are you going to be able to pull those pictures up, Tony?
slow down now. Slow down.
All right. Well, I'll have to vamp here for a minute so Tony can find those pictures at the bottom of the screen. It should pop up right up in the window.
I'm trying to find the one of Ed. So let's.
All right. So
do Ed
with that in mind, let me go ahead and bring Ed on the air and see what he's got. Now, I asked Ed. We don't want to have the normal Meshtastic talk. We want to talk about the hardware and the nerdy stuff that goes along with Meshtastic. So some of the things that we can do beyond just the get a node set up. Ed, are you there?
Yes, sir. Well, good evening, everyone. And I don't think you can spell nerd without mesh. Those of you that know me know that I've been working with it for a couple of years, as have many others on there, but it is the epitome of nerdiness right now. And, everybody buys a node, but I encourage anybody to build it. And when I say build it, I don't mean put things together and soldering pieces. You can build a node with just a couple of components and pretty much plug and play. Let me break. So really, all you need are three things. You need a node, you need an antenna, and you need a case. And those of you on YouTube will probably be able to see a picture of just what I'm talking about. But with those three components, you can build a node. And all you need to do is plug it into a USB phone charger, and you're on the air. But that's just the beginning. Let me break. If you want a node that you can take with you, all you need to do is add a battery. And you can get everything off of Amazon and other sources, but a node, an antenna, and a case, plus a battery now gives you a portable node that you can take with you. And if you want a node that you can leave outside and never have to plug it in, you simply add a solar panel. So everything is in a case. You can see on YouTube if you're watching, just one that I built, but it's pretty straightforward. No soldering. The case can be bought, and that's a waterproof case, or you can build your own. You can print your own, but there's really no reason why you can't build your own node, and I encourage everybody to do those things, just so that you can see how everything works together. Let me do one more break. Once you have the node, there's a website you can go to load Meshtastic on it, and then you're all set. That's really all there is to it. There are some configuration steps that you need to do, but I will give you a website, and that's the website to Mountain Mesh. The folks up in North Georgia, this organization has done a great job of putting together templates and guidelines, and if you go to their website, which is mtmesh.com, mountainme.sh. mountainme.sh. There's a section there that talks about how to configure a node, and what they've done, which is genius, is they put a QR code. Break. So once you go to the website, if you have your node connected on your phone, you can take a picture of that website, of that QR code, and it does all the work for you. It only takes about 2 or 3 seconds. Your node reboots, and you are all set up with all the settings that you need to have a node that's connected to the Mountain Mesh network and be able to talk to everybody in Georgia. So very simple, no soldering. Even if you've never built any electronics before, you can do this. And it's so much more satisfying than buying a node. If you just buy the pieces, save some money along the way, and put it together. And that's my nerdy minute for the night.
I think that makes it an extra level of, that's ultra nerd stuff right there, mega nerd.
He's got it down pat.
Yeah, but building out the device out of these basic components, I think is a very cool way to go, because especially if you've got a 3D printer, or if you've got a buddy that's got one, or as I believe Ed has mentioned, if you can download the file, and those files are available online, often for free. You can take that file to your library, and they will print it for you. So you can, that's as hands-on as you can get without actually having your own 3D printer. So that gives you lots of options in terms of hands-on assembly and building out the case. And the case that Ed had showed us, in his images, looked like a fairly robust waterproof case that you could stick outdoors. But I also know that some of these cases come with a very tiny battery and can be very easily carried in your pocket. And so you can have that mesh function as you're out and about. Oh, you've got a pocket size?
Yes, I have a pocket size.
Yeah, throw it up there. And so that's a device you can carry around and be able to have mesh communications through your phone and make that ultra portable. Is that a 3D printed case?
Yes, brother-in-law.
Okay.
Brother-in-law. Yes, but yes, it's a 3D printed case from their website. They give you the file, no charge, whatever, and you just print it.
So you buy the device, you build the case, you add on an antenna, and you're good to go.
It is very easy.
Battery.
It is so easy to build.
What kind of money do you have in that?
I built 2, one for me and one for the wife.
Right.
And I think I have less than $100 in both of them.
For both of them?
Yeah.
So $100 and you've got a pair of devices.
Now, I have a solar node at the house as well. It was a little bit more because it has a solar panel. It's all self-contained. I think I might have $100 in it.
Probably has a bigger battery.
It has 4 of the big 18 650 batteries.
Okay.
And but I don't even have to touch it.
So that probably runs for a week in the dark?
Yes.
And during the wintertime?
Last week when we had all the rain, I never saw the battery go down below 80%.
Yeah. So
nice.
So that is that's a set it and forget it kind of a device too. You can stick that up on the mast, and occasionally you may want to update the firmware. I don't know. I've heard. I don't have any firsthand experience, but I've heard that some devices will allow you to do that through Bluetooth or through Wi-Fi. You can update the node remotely that way. Other devices, you have to have it in your hand. So.
Right. Plug it into the computer, download it.
I don't know. There's probably, there's probably not a lot of value in having a mesh device 100 feet high on a tower. 30 or so feet would be enough in most cases for you to have visibility out around your neighborhood.
I would think so, yes.
So, and that's really what you're trying to do is just gain a little more distance on your first hop.
I know Ed has a couple up high. I wonder how high, Ed.
I think he's arranged to place them at neighbors' houses that are in strategic locations. So I don't know if we could get a count from Ed as to how many devices he's deployed throughout the world, but
he might not want that. No,
he might not. So, but that is something. If you can find a piece of property that would be a key location and get permission,
Mm-hmm.
you may be able to install a device, in a tree or on a pole or on a mast somewhere. So we'll see what develops, and that's good stuff. Ed, do you have anything to follow up, or do you need to correct any of my misstatements?
Ours.
No, not correct. I applaud you guys. You mentioned some things that I did not, which is great. To answer your question, I do have a node high up, 1,300 feet, which is high in this area. And the key is not how many nodes you can put up around your neighborhood. It's how many nodes you can get your friends to put up around the neighborhood. And I've got 5 friends that have 5 nodes, router nodes on top of mountains: Blackjack Mountain, Pine Mountain, Sweat Mountain, and that gives us coverage for most of Cobb County. So remember, with mesh, you don't have to go very far with your node. You just have to go to the next hop and let the next hop take it from there and go hop to hop. So you yourself don't have to have a node that goes 20 miles. You just have to go as far as your next closest hop. So back to you guys.
Oh, very good. Did you hear that, Tony? He's got 5 friends.
He's got 5 friends. I heard that. I don't have 5 friends.
I don't have 5 friends. That's
I might
that's
know
cool.
5 people, but I don't have 5 friends.
Right. Yeah, that's impressive. Well, and I guess that's a great point. Get your friends and neighbors to put one up, and that
it's very inexpensive to get into, and it's a third layer of communications if you need it.
Yeah.
It's not something you're relying on every day.
You're not making phone calls on it.
Nope.
But
it's a short text message.
If the grid's down and you need water, it might just be a lifesaver. If the grid's down and a very good friend of yours has run all the way out of food, that may be a very, very important resource.
Correct.
So I think that's a great tool to have. Thank you, Ed, for putting all that together, especially on short notice. I think I reached out to him yesterday.
Was it yesterday? I thought it was today.
Might have been today.
I think it was today. Was it today, Ed? What? How long did you have?
No, last night got the gears going.
So plenty of time.
All right.
Very good.
So we now we know his limit. So we can get it a little closer.
Next time I can just wait till Thursday morning.
Exactly.
Well, good stuff. Thank you, Ed. And if anybody has any questions about a mesh node, there's no better resource than Ed. And if you don't want to call out to him on the radio, you could probably just show up at one of the Meet and Geek events that Ed hosts over in the Kennesaw area. Mm-hmm. When's his next one? Is that on the 11th? You didn't memorize? You didn't memorize those
I read
dates?
it. I didn't memorize it. Oh, jeez.
Well, let's ask Ed.
Ed, help.
Tuesday, the 11th at noon.
See?
At the Old Town Grill around the corner from McCollum. Be there. Be square.
Nice.
All right. So you can bring all your mesh questions and concerns and issues. When we were at the Hamfest, there was a couple from a booth. They were over at Tower Electronics, and they were asking me a bunch of mesh questions.
Yeah.
And
did you have the answers?
I had some answers, and they might have been right or wrong. But you know me. You can ask me anything, and I'm going to give you an answer.
Right. Whether
Whether it's the correct answer or even the right answer is for you to determine and for me to enjoy your quandary. But in any case, I think Ed was able to meet up with them and get questions answered. I think he was able to resolve one of their nodes, and the other one was hopelessly corrupted from endless tinkering and fiddling. But and that's probably why my node doesn't perform the way I'd like it to, because I just poked at it too much.
Well, it's very easy, but it's not a one and done thing. You've got to kind of keep an eye on it, keep the battery charged, and that sort of thing. You just can't let it.
Well, and that's my trouble is to keep the battery charged, keep an eye on it. I'm not very good at those kind of things. It's like NiCad batteries. If you give me a radio with a NiCad battery, you know what I'm going to do?
No.
I'm going to ruin that battery.
Forget to charge it.
Or it's going to sit on the
Overcharge it.
charger all the time.
Overcharge.
Yeah. So
Overcharge.
I will destroy that battery. You take that radio from me in 3 months and good luck getting it to run for an entire day, because I don't think it will. So, all right. Well, good stuff. Thank you, Ed. And let's see. We've got a few more here as we get further down the line. We've got Chattanooga 84 Jim in Hickson. Jim, what kind of nerdy stuff do you have to share with the group?
It is. Come on. Oh, down to the bottom, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Line 48. All right. Not hearing anything from Jim, I'm going to go ahead and show him as in and out. And we're going to keep right on trucking. Next on the list, we have Toccoa 60, Dr. Stephen in Baldwin. Stephen, what do you have for nerdy stuff that you'd like to talk about tonight? No, right. We are past 9 o'clock, so it's very likely that some of these check-ins are no longer with us, have gone to bed.
Or fallen asleep.
We've seen that happen many times before. So we're going to go ahead and show Toccoa 60 as in and out, and that'll bring us to our guest, Chris, in Lula. Chris gave us a call sign, but we missed it. Chris, can you come back with your call sign, and what nerdy things do you have to talk about tonight? All right, we're going to show Chris as in and out, and we're going to keep right on going. We have another missed call sign. We have it just says 925, so we missed the GMRS letters in this call. But this is Charlie in Kingston, is not yet a member, but he checked in this evening as a guest. Charlie, do you have any comments for tonight's net?
You looking for Charlie in Kingston?
That's right, Charlie. We missed your call sign. Can you give that to us one more time?
WRVC215 out of Kingston. Been GMRS a couple of years and been looking at North Georgia GMRS for actually a couple of years as well. But while I was on, after the net started, I went ahead and paid for it, and I've been talking to. Hang on a second. Sorry, I've been talking to Gary about a call, and so it looks like he's going to give me a call from Rome, but he's not going to do it until tomorrow morning. So. I'm now a believer, and I'm part of the group, and we'll get my call tomorrow morning.
Well, fantastic, Charlie. Thank you so much for your support, and really appreciate you becoming a member, and appreciate you checking in on tonight's net. Glad to have you along, and as you can see, folks that are not yet a member. You're welcome to check into the net. I might not get your call sign right.
Might have to ask twice.
Yeah, but we definitely would love to hear from you. And I think this is a great way. For Charlie's case, he's been listening for a while, and I would hope that he's checked in not only to this net, but maybe had a few conversations along the way.
Right.
We want to know, right? We want to know that where you're located, you've got decent coverage, and that it's going to perform for you. Before you send your money in, because we're a nonprofit, and once you pay your dues, the money gets spent faster than.
We have all the repeaters listed
Yeah.
Test them.
Yeah.
Get
So
on. Ask for a radio check.
So if you're on the fence and you're thinking about it, definitely come on the air, whether it's tonight or another night. It doesn't have to be a net. Most of our members will understand that if you've got a valid call sign, then you're welcome to come on the air and strike up a conversation. We expect membership support from regular users.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to come on the air frequently, then that's when we want you to support the network. I don't, if you're passing through the area.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people that drive through that got us and talk and ask about it,
and that's perfectly fine. Yeah. If you're passing through the area every afternoon at 3:00 for the last couple of months, then probably you should be a member. But for those that are just transient through the area, or folks that are on the fence thinking about it, definitely would like for you to test your equipment, test our equipment, make sure that you can get in and you can work, and then become a member. So great stuff, Charlie. Glad to have you along, and look forward to hearing what your TAC number is. So it looks like tonight we've got a small handful of new members or renewals. I'm not sure which, but thanks to all of you who have made that choice to support the network, because that's really what you're doing. Your money gets used to maintain the network, to pay our recurring expenses, to develop new technology in some cases. We have some development concerns on the table right now, and we may pause some of that depending on what finances become. But if we get the level of support that I think we'll be able to continue on with all of these things, and be able to continue on with the network. And once again, if you're bothered by the interference that we've been receiving, let me break. I get it. I understand, and it really is hard to continue to listen. I know a lot of folks
very annoying.
Are turning their radio off, and I understand, and I'm not going to argue with you, but I am going to say this: when you do that, or when you walk away from the network because you don't want your radio playing those vulgarities, you don't want that stuff on your you don't want your kids hearing that, you don't want your spouse. I understand, but when you turn your radio off, you give this person a win, and when you leave the network, you give them a big win. So I just ask for you to think about that and consider whether or not you want this person to win, or if you want to show solidarity and support and strength, because this has been going on for a while and we haven't changed what we do. We're the same network when this all began as we are right now. We're continuing to do the things that we've always done, and we'll continue doing that unless we see, from our actual members, a direction that we need to change to. We're going to keep on keeping on, and I see no reason why we shouldn't change what we're doing. I believe that we are in full compliance with Part 95 FCC rules. I've read the rules through and through. I understand there is a statement on the front page that says that GMRS repeater linking is not allowed, but that's not a Part 95 rule. That's a statement of opinion or interpretation.
A memo.
So we really, that's not a rule. It's just not a rule. It's just a statement. So we've been in contact with the FCC, and if you're wondering how it is that we're still linked after all this time, we've invited the FCC to inform us by way of a letter what rule we are in violation of, and that's been months ago. We've heard nothing. So
even before they were closed.
Before they were closed, yes. It was several months before then.
Yes.
And that tells me if they don't have a response, they have an awareness of who we are and what we're doing, and they don't have a response when we've asked them to show us the violation, that tells me that we're not in violation. Like they're not showing us, or else they would, right?
Right.
If there was something they could point to and say, this is the rule that you're breaking, then tell us. We'll change what we're doing if we need to. If there's a way that we can challenge the rule, if there's a way that we can defeat that or correct it, we'll look at all those things. But we're still here, and we're here because we believe we're correct, and that we are in full compliance with the rules, If that's something you're concerned with, take heart. If there ever is a violation, it'll be a violation specifically to Gary Beckstead.
Right.
Let's break. It's not something that any of the membership should have to be concerned with. You're not going to be responsible for the stewardship or the administration of the repeater network. You're just a contributing user to the network, and so you have no legal or any violation.
It's the repeater owner, the station owner's responsibility.
That's right, and it says so in the rules. So, and it'll get handled that way. We're not going to pass the buck to anybody. So if we have to address this, we certainly will. But I would think that if we were going to have to do it,
they'd have sent the letter by now.
We'd have seen it by now.
Yeah, they had sent a bunch of letters out beginning of the year to other people on the ham side and FCC, other amateur side.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so and there have been some violations. I'm not aware of any FCC action with regard to Part 95 GMRS repeater groups in the country. Now, there have been a number of repeater groups that have been contacted by folks from the FCC, and they voluntarily discontinued their nets.
Right.
Their linking, I mean. And that was a choice that they made voluntarily. They didn't get a letter of violation from the FCC. They were just contacted casually, and chose to discontinue their linking. So, we've studied the rules, and we believe that we are in full compliance. Now, for anyone that thinks that we're not in compliance, what I would recommend you do is file a complaint with the FCC.
Right.
And they'll have to process that, and they'll have to look at that. And if they determine that we are in violation of the rules, they will send us a letter and tell us, what they expect us to do.
Right.
But if you think that we're in violation of the rules, and the correct response to that is to come on the air and play unidentified transmissions and play
one-way
recordings
transmissions,
and engage in chunking key-ups and try to interfere with ongoing conversations. If that's your response to us because you think we're in violation, that doesn't make any sense.
You didn't read the rules, did he?
And yeah, because you're specifically violating actual rules when you think that we're in violation. This doesn't make two wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
So if you do believe that we're in violation of the rules, send your complaint to the FCC. And if the FCC sees it the same way that you do, they'll force our hand.
Right.
But I'm aware that several complaints have been filed to that effect, and we've still not seen a letter. So that gives me the confidence to say that I believe that what we're doing is what we're going to continue to do for a very long time. Let's break.
Comment?
Go ahead with that comment.
WSGD 932 Atlanta 294, Carl, comment.
Hey, listen, Carl, go ahead and hold your comment until we open the floor at the end of the net. I just, I don't want to break the rhythm of the net here. And there are people who have checked in that have not had their time to talk yet. So follow the protocol, check in when you're supposed to, and we'll take your comment when we get to that portion of the program. So if I talk to you right now and other people have to wait, it's just not fair to them. So and some folks have been here for 2.5 hours. So hold your traffic, and we'll come to you here in just a little bit. But Charlie in Kingston, glad to have you along.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for your support, and really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, and means a lot to the network here. And I think you're going to enjoy the access that your membership provides. Great group of people here. Carl is one of them.
Yep.
I think you're going to enjoy conversations with him as well. Chattanooga 1-8, Seth in Cleveland. Do you have any comments for tonight's net? All right, we're past his bedtime too. And I get it. That happens a lot. We're gonna go ahead and show Seth as in and out and continue on. Next, we have Chattanooga 1-2 Barry in Crandall. Barry, do you have any comments for tonight's net?
Yeah, this is Chat 12 up in Crandall. You guys talking about this old stuff opened up a memory for me. I joined the Air Force in 1965, and then right after basic training, I was up in Illinois at a tech school, learning how to work on airplanes, and I was up there for a year. But right outside the gate, out from the base, there was a pawn shop, and I used to frequent that place to see what they had of value, and I was a window looker and a tire kicker because we made very little money. But he had a transistor radio. It had 10 transistors. I think it was a Sony, and it had AM, FM, shortwave, and it was $26. That don't sound like anything now. It's probably, but it's probably $300 or $400 in the difference of time. And I had to pay for half of it, wait till payday, and pay for the other half. But that was the best radio, and I was looking through some boxes of my old stuff just a few months ago, and I ran up on that old radio. And I just sat down on the floor and held it in my hands and looked at it, and it wouldn't work. But everybody used to gather around and listen to that radio. It was something else, and you guys have brought that memory back to me tonight. I appreciate y'all's work and this net and all. I appreciate your explanation on the problems we've been having lately. That needed to be addressed, and so I'll turn it back to you. This is Barry in Crandall, Chattanooga 12, WSGJ 730.
Very good stuff, Barry. And you know, these old gadgets, these old radios. I remember when I was a kid, my brother and I for Christmas one year got Emerson AM radios in a Bakelite case. They were inexpensive radios, but they were 100% transistor analog radios, and I think these probably were under $10 when they were new.
Yeah.
Based on the economy of the time and you know the kind of presents that my parents bought back in those days, money was tight. But those radios were around for a very long time. I know that mine, I had a shelf break, and when it came down, all the stuff that was on the shelf landed on that radio, and it ended up in pieces. But I kind of wonder if my brother still has his. He may very well, but and I'll bet the silly thing still works, that the capacitors haven't leaked. And that's one of the things that's common with old electronics, is the electrolytic capacitors sometimes will swell up and leak and lose their value. And then when you bring the electronics on power, sometimes that results in a dead short, and that can create other problems in the circuits. So you have to be careful bringing old electronics back to power, especially if they're plugging into the wall electronics, because those power supplies back in those days were serious, and they would generate a lot of smoke in certain circumstances. But if you're careful and you know what you're doing, sometimes you can bring them up to power in a soft way, and if they're solid, then you'll be okay. But you should definitely, with old electronics, you should definitely open them up and inspect the circuit boards and see if any of the capacitors show signs of bulging or indications that fluid of any kind has ever leaked out of them. You'll see stains on the circuit board if that's the case.
Because letting the smoke out is not the ideal thing.
Well, I mean, if you let the electrolytic fluid out of a capacitor, it really won't make much in the way of smoke. It'll just make one big pop, and that pop could be the capacitor exploding, but more likely it's going to be a resistor somewhere else in the circuit board that becomes vaporized. And that can be more difficult to troubleshoot because, once you burn a resistor, it's hard to know what its values were.
Right.
But old electronics and memories, I've had a few of my own, and I think that that's a fun net to talk about stuff like that. So appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, Barry. Glad to have
reminiscing.
you along. Yeah. And so let's go next to Pamela. Carl, stick around. You'll be coming up here real soon. Pamela, do you have any comments for tonight's net?
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Actually, I didn't think I was going to have but just a couple of things, but when Mr. 848 came in the room, he reminded me of some other things, and then when hearing Barry just then, it reminded me of something. So first, I start out that, yes, I have a General Electric 7-transistor radio. The antenna's messed up, but it still comes in just as clear, strong as can be. I listen to the Braves on it, listen to the Bulldogs on it, a lot of sports on it. But we also have that one of them brick phones, the Novatel. We have the Mastermind stereo and satellite remote, and it's infrared and RF. So there's a few things. I have some more if you want to comment on those.
Well, that's quite a collection of stuff, and yeah, we've, I don't have all those things, but I tell you what I do have that's kind of cool. You talk about nerdy stuff. I just recently, in the last couple of weeks, I acquired an old reel-to-reel deck.
Really?
And this deck came with 49 recorded tapes, and a lot of it is old R&B and blues and jazz.
Nice.
And it's been fun. Just we put a reel on the machine, and we play it at dinner time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I brought it home, Julie didn't realize what I had. Right. So, what are you going to do with that thing? And it is monstrously heavy. What are you going to do with that thing? And I said, well, I'm going to prop it up right here in the living room, and we're going to listen to music at dinner time every night. And I was only half serious because, quite honestly, I bought that to be like a prop,
right,
in Studio B.
Yeah.
It really didn't, have much intention beyond that. I thought it'd be cool to have the reels turning during a net.
Yeah, there you go.
In the background someplace, and
cool.
Not even if it's hooked up, just
right
there as a prop. That's ultimately that was my purpose in buying the machine. But the silly thing came with a bunch of tapes. Not only did it come with tapes, but it came with 2 3-ring binders, and the binders are catalogs of what's on the tape. So you can go through the catalog and you can pick stuff out. And this is old stuff, so I'm not familiar with a lot of it, but it is really cool. Well, you know what Julie did? She cleared out a space in the living room.
Nice.
And she's got that thing set up. She cleared out. We had a cabinet full of games. We play a lot of games, like board games and stuff.
Right.
And so we had a cabinet full of games, and some of the games we haven't played in ages. So she went through and consolidated all of those games to go into a different cabinet and freed up that whole cabinet to hold and house those 53 or 55, however many reels of tape there are.
Wow.
There's 3 or 4 blank reels. There's 2 empty take-up reels, and then there's 49 recorded reels of.
How many you've been through?
4.
Nice.
Some of them are mono.
Yeah.
So you listen to the left channel,
right,
and then you listen to the left channel coming back, and then you go over to the right channel and you play that tape forward and back again, and yeah. But we were listening one night. And it's like, what in the world is this? Is that tape bad? It's almost like you're listening to 2 completely different songs playing at the same time.
Wow.
Turns out we were. It's exactly what we were doing. The left side and the right side are both playing. Well, you have to mute one side or the other.
Oh.
And just listen to the other side, and but they're not all like that. Some of them are stereo. Lots of material. Let me break. So yeah, Julie has become a open reel audio snob
Enthusiast.
Enthusiast. Just yeah, that's what I said, right?
Yes.
Just because I brought that silly thing home. So I don't know. I told the guy that I bought it from. It was one of those marketplace deals.
Right.
And I told the guy, I said, a bit of alarming news. I think I'm going to have to buy another open reel deck if you know of any. And he came back and he says, "Oh no, what happened?" And I said, "Well, I brought it home and showed it to my wife, and now she's taking it over."
I'm sure you can find another one. There's got to be another one somewhere.
Yeah, well, maybe the novelty will wear off, and by the time we're in the studio, I can have it back. But for now, it's become a prominent feature in the living room. So
nice.
Next time you're up there, it's in that bookcase. It's in the corner of that living room.
I'll check it out next time.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. So it happens to be one that has speakers built into it. So it will play without having to be connected to.
Well, that's nice.
A big stereo system. No, it's not high fidelity.
Right, but still,
I don't think the tapes are either.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. So good stuff.
You're happy they're stereo.
Yeah. Even the mono tapes are. Once you understand what you're listening to.
Right.
I just haven't listened to anything. When's the last time you've heard anything in mono?
Rogers?
Well, interestingly enough, when I record videos using a microphone, those usually are in mono. And then in editing, I double it to kind of make it a quasi-stereo. But,
right.
I do have one of those radios that you talked about. I have that I picked up from Marketplace. It's kind of an old school radio from the 60s, I think.
Uh-huh.
And I plugged it in, and it actually worked. I was going to just sell it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep this. It's kind of cool.
I see from time to time, because I subscribe to all kinds of radio stuff. And so I see from time to time things like AM transmitters for sale. Now, buying an AM transmitter is a bit of a thing because if you don't have a license, they don't really want you to be in possession of it. But a lot of times they'll let you buy one if you're a ham, with the idea that either you're going to modify it to work in the ham bands, or that you'll be responsible with it and just preserve it or what have you. So, and there's ways that you can bring those old transmitters. You bring a 5,000 watt transmitter up, but you can bring it up on the exciter and not on the amplifier. And when you do that, then you have 50 or 75 watts. So there's ways that you can bring those old radios up and be able to use them without getting in trouble. And every now and then you see FM transmitters. Now FM transmitters are a little looser with. Let's break. And if you find an FM transmitter, you might be able to just talk your way into buying one. And unfortunately, these become pirate radio stations all over the place. But there's also, in the radio market today, there's an alarming number of small and large radio stations that are surrendering their license. For many, many years, it was impossible to get a commercial broadcast license in the AM or FM band. I don't know specifically what markets they're in, but I'm aware that there are 6 licenses available right now. So if anybody has a few $1 million that they don't mind dropping on a radio station, we could probably acquire one of those licenses and get busy broadcasting.
There you go.
And we could lose money spectacularly that way.
All the time, all over the place.
Yeah, all day, all night.
Mm-hmm.
But neat stuff. And so looking through those ads, sometimes I see, bits and pieces that would be cool to have as maybe a display case piece. The mixing console. Have you ever worked in a radio station?
No, I haven't.
Mike has, so he knows some about how the equipment's just a little bit different, right? So it's pro audio gear, but it's not the same pro audio gear that you're going to find out in the field, like at a concert or at a church. It's broadcast gear, and so it is a little bit different. The levels, what they call line level, is not the same as what I call line level in here.
Right.
We use 1 volt as line level.
Right.
In that venue, 4 volts is line level. So their line level is a lot hotter than mine, which makes them a lot more immune to things like the buzz that I understand we're transmitting with right now.
Right.
So that's a big difference, and it helps them avoid things like that. It's just neat stuff. So if you want to get nerdy in radio, take a little walk down commercial broadcast radio, because that is some super nerdy stuff. So and right here we got So Peachy. He says he could use one of them to start his own Part 15 AM community radio station, which would be nice to have. Yep. And So Peachy's had a ton of comments in tonight's thread. If you go to the YouTube channel, he's had a lot to say. I wish I could keep up with all of it and bring it to the air, because I think it would have been a great conversation. But some good input.
We're short-staffed.
Yeah, we are. Well, I'm only 5'10". Rogers, you're not short at all, are you?
No, Rogers is not.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
What?
I'm the shortest out of my brothers and my dad when I go home. So.
Well.
Yeah. But I'm 6'1", 6'2", I guess.
Yeah, so he's not short-staffed at all, but the rest of us are.
The rest of us are.
Yeah, and we're down a couple of people, but hey, we made it happen, right? We're right here.
I think we're on the air.
So Pamela, did you have anything you wanted to follow up with before I go to Carl?
Yes, sir, guys. Y'all doing a good job. A lot of information out there. Just real quick, we now have a Meshtastic node up on our antenna pole, and thanks to Patrick, that was Ernest's birthday gift. And my birthday gift is going to be here eventually, and I asked for a 40-foot tower for Simplex to participate from the house. So that's going to be coming up here, so that's new. Also, we have amplified rabbit ears also still around this house. And the other thing that Ernest says we have is a 58-year-old Citizen Band high gain antenna, an M67.
Wow.
The old high gain stuff. Yeah, that's some older stuff.
It was a good selling point.
Yeah. When I was a kid on the farm, we had CB radios in some of our equipment, but we almost never used it because usually if Dad had something to tell me while I was on one of the machines, it's because he needed to come and tell me with a board or a stick, and he didn't want to tell me over the radio.
No,
so
didn't want anybody hearing that.
So that was the way that generally worked. We didn't use the radios very often because most of the operations that we did on the farm, we were within sight of one another as we're working. So that was the deal. And So Peachy's up here talking about he'd call his station Vintage 1610 playing oldies. It just makes me. I met a guy a while back. It was this year. It was back in the spring. And I talked to this guy about some tower equipment that he wanted to get rid of, and ended up taking the tower equipment. But he, in his basement, he has a radio station. It's a studio that's set up with turntables, tape decks, cart machines, CD. He only had one CD player. He's an old school guy.
Right.
But this guy set up, and he could DJ a show, and he had a massive collection of music. He had vinyl, he had cassettes, he had 45s, he had a bunch of carts. Do you know what a cart is?
Like the little box crates or
So,
something like that? Oh, no.
So Tony will know. Are you old enough to know what an 8-track tape is?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a cart is kind of like an 8-track tape. It's a cartridge like that, shaped in almost the same size and shape of a shell. It's got 1/4-inch tape in it, but it runs at twice the speed as an 8-track. And it's just 2 channels. So a radio station back in the day would record all of their commercials and most of their music onto a cart. So you get the vinyl album out, and you pull off the 2 or 3 songs that you're going to play off of that album, and you put them on a cart, each song on its own cart. And then you put the vinyl away, and it doesn't get ruined. Only certain people at the radio station were allowed to play vinyl. The rest of those clowns had to use a cart. So, and by doing that, if you damage the cart, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
You just re-record that cart onto another fresh cart. and they would consume carts. They would go through dozens of them a week, throw it away, make a new one. They would wear them out. But the cart machine was a neat piece because it was higher fidelity than our tape decks at home.
Right.
And because it played, the tape moved faster, and because it was only 2 channels instead of 8 like on our 8-track. Let's break. So neat. It was just neat to see a cart machine in somebody's basement, because I haven't seen one of those in probably 40 years.
Never seen one.
Yeah, neat stuff. So if you're into broadcast radio, I know a guy, and he's got a studio set up. He could very easily stream to the internet, or he could STL to a transmitter someplace, and he could very easily do the nostalgia radio or anything of that nature from the studio that he's got set up in his basement. He's got some really nice gear. His turntables probably were in a radio station at one time.
Wow.
I would be willing to bet. So good stuff. All right, Carl. What's Carl's TAC number?
294.
That might be right. Carl, is that you? 294.
That's correct. Atlanta 294.
All right. You had a comment along the way. You want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, it was about when you guys were talking about I think it was the GMR, if I'm correct. I forgot what it was, but apparently I listen to Flagship. I always usually monitor, and I hear him say a call sign and who he is. I don't know if that's really him, but thought that might be helpful, during the conversation. But just wanted to put that out there for you and yeah.
Yeah, probably what you're hearing is one of the tapes that he plays where he doxes some of our members and identifies their call sign and their name and their address, and that's just a really crappy thing for someone to do. A lot of us appreciate our privacy, right?
Right.
So I don't necessarily want just anybody rolling in the driveway here. So, and I don't want just anybody calling me on the phone. I don't want just anybody showing up to participate. But at the same time, I do need volunteers. And so if I find somebody that seems like they would be a good fit, I may invite you to come here. But that's entirely different than making my information publicly known and having people just kind of show up out of the blue.
It's a little different than calling you on the radio and saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Yeah.
So it's really bad form for someone to do that. But that's what we have. We have a child that believes that his use of the radio is more significant and more important than the 900 members that are actually paying to be a part of North Georgia GMRS. It's 929, I believe, contributing members to North Georgia GMRS, and there are, I believe, it's 92 members who have contributed to North Georgia ARA.
Are we up to 92 now? Great.
So, which is another point. If you're interested in becoming a founding member, you should do that.
I think we're going to be 93.
You should do that tonight.
Right, Roger.
That window's going to close, and you should do that very, very soon. Now, if you don't make it as a founding member, it's still okay. But that window will be closing very soon. So I would encourage anyone that's on the fence about ARA, go ahead and pull that trigger, because either we're going to get to the 100 and accept no further, or we're going to, I think the deadline is the 15th. So that's just a little over a week away. So would encourage anybody that's interested in that to go ahead and pull that trigger. But Carl, I just, it frustrates me to no end. And I understand how frustrating it can be for a lot of people. And I understand if people are going to choose not to remain in North Georgia GMRS because of it. I don't like it, but I understand it. And I wish that folks would ignore that and continue to support North Georgia GMRS anyway. But if that's not something you're comfortable with and you need to take a break, then you know, I'm going to say thanks for the support you did give us while you were here. And I'm also going to say I hope that you'll be back. I think that that's all that I can say.
Yeah.
I just, you know, it's not okay for us to be upset about anybody that leaves, because I really want that door to be open,
Right.
and I want people to be welcome to come back.
I think our door is always open.
I think so. So when you hear that, Carl, let me break. When you hear that, Carl, pay attention, because I think what you're hearing for a call sign is one of our members, or there's a couple of people that I've heard him call out and identify, and you know it's not a nice thing to do. He's doing it to be
a bully.
Yeah, he's just being a bully, and he's trying to get a rise out of people. So one thing that I would recommend that you do is figure out that MDS chirp and get that turned off on all of your radios, and never, ever, ever turn it back on again, because that makes your radio sound a lot like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's absolutely no use for an MDS tone on GMRS radio. It's not really even legal. But beyond that, it is a kind of a violation in terms. So continuing to use the MDS chirp is not okay. So don't.
Well, it interferes with the repeaters a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, he's got a chirp on the front end, which is a little bit different. It's just annoying to hear. And you know, if you hear that all day long, especially when you're hearing that guy making that noise throughout the day, and then hearing somebody's radio carry that on, so definitely get that turned off and make sure it stays off, and not even maybe on that one. Just make sure that it stays off. If you're using that radio in amateur communications, there's still not really a good reason to use the MDS tone. I know that other people that have that kind of radio can see your ident when they key up, and you can see theirs, but this is GMRS, and that's not something that's really even allowed in GMRS radio. So, Carl, did you have anything else?
So yeah, sorry about that MDC tone. When I was at the ham event, we had MDC because we have our own TAC channels through 3 to 18, and we just had to identify who was talking. But about the guy docs, I record everything. So if you guys need anything, and I'm looking here, and if you feel like you're in immediate danger, recommend contacting law enforcement or something. But you also have the Federal Communications Commission, it's not really the internet, but you have the Internet Complaint Center, which is ran by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But if you feel like you're in immediate danger, consider, if you feel like you're in immediate physical danger, consider calling 911. But sorry about the MDC tone. I will go turn that off here in a couple minutes. I need to turn on the computer, but alrighty. I will give it back to you.
All right, Carl. Yeah, I think the biggest reason I'd like for you to turn that off is so that no one ever associates you with the person that's causing the interference. Please make sure that you definitely get that turned off. And as someone has noted, it is okay to use those tones in simplex operations,
Right.
and it's not that it's FCC illegal, but it is a violation of North Georgia GMRS MOU, the terms of service agreement that everyone agrees to when they become a member of North Georgia GMRS. So okay, so I've got 2 more YouTube check-ins here, and I'll bet there might be a few more beyond that because Mike had to go, and I'm probably going to miss them. But let me go ahead and acknowledge what we've got here. We've got WSJQ. Oh, this is Atlanta 252. Valerie in Alpharetta is checking in on YouTube. And we've got Mr. Roman from Northern Idaho checking in on YouTube.
Idaho.
I don't know if I've got So Peachy in the log. Hopefully he is in here. He's had so much to say tonight. I really appreciate those comments. I've also got somebody called Coltrane. It's hard for me to be able to look at this and be able to grab call signs and go back through and those details. And I've got Canton Man 5594. I think that's Atlanta 261. He's just hiding behind an alter identity.
Alter
there.
ego.
Yeah. So if I missed you in the YouTube chat, I apologize. But nonetheless, we're glad to have you along. At this time, we're going to take one last round of late check-ins and any additional questions or comments. Net Control standing by.
This is WRPG 415 Atlanta 11. Mobile and Woodstock, checking in and out.
John.
This WSIY 399. This is Chris and Lula. I've been enjoying the net. Not worried about any interference.
Is he a member?
No, he's right there. He is WSY. Missed it.
I wasn't it? SYI 391.
WRBC 215 in Kingston again. When you got a second, I have a comment.
Okay, Kingston, where's he at? There he is, Charlie.
Atlanta 849 with comment.
All right, Chris in Lula. I think we have WSYI 399. I'm not entirely sure that's right, but glad to have you along tonight. Thanks for listening in. We're almost at the end. Also, we heard from Atlanta 11 John right here in Woodstock. He's out mobiling around. And we've got a comment from Charlie from Kingston. That would be WRCV 215. Well, it says in the roster, it says not yet a member, but he became a member during the net.
Nice.
So that we don't know what his TAC number is yet. Maybe he got it. We'll find out here in just a moment. So, Pamela, stand by with your comment. Let's go to Charlie. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, I was just going to contribute to the nerd mania. You were talking about the bag phone a few hours ago. I had, in 1997, I was a service technician, and I had a pager mainly, but I got my first phone, and it was a bag phone from Bell South Mobility. You remember that name. And it was analog. And the thing I remember is I think they told me the cell phones, the little StarTACs, were like 600 milliwatts, but I think this bag phone was like 3 watts. So it had much more power than a little StarTAC. And I held on to that bag phone for as long as I could, and they got rid of all the plans, and the only plan I was left with was a plan that had no free minutes, and it was 45 cents a minute. And I finally said, okay, that's it. I'll jump on the digital bandwagon.
Oh yeah, I do remember that bag phone was considerably more power than the handhelds, and I think that there's an FDA limit or some agency that limits a handheld device for cellular use to some low power ceiling. I think today it's even lower. I want to say that your handheld iPhone is limited to something like 300 milliwatts.
Is it?
I think it's crazy low. But they work pretty well despite that. But yeah, back then, because it wasn't something you were sticking up against your head,
No.
It
had a rubber duck antenna.
Yeah, it didn't have that power restriction. So I think
or is that before we knew we should have had that power restriction?
Well, I mean, if it's an antenna mounted on top of your car on a little mag base, because you could do that, or if it was a little rubber duck sticking out of the side of that canvas case.
Yeah.
Either way you went, you didn't have that antenna right there. And even at 3 watts, you're not looking at RF burns. But it was considerably more power than you would necessarily want sticking right next to your head. Now, at the same time, you could have a 4-watt CB radio, but that's a very, very, very different band. And
right.
A much lower frequency. And, so cell phones, even back then, were kind of approaching microwave frequencies. I don't remember I want to say they were at like 300 megahertz and 1200 megahertz. So not quite in the microwave band, but they were high.
Yeah.
For the time, they were pretty high. And they've got frequency spectrum all over the place these days. But good stuff. All right, Charlie, thanks a lot, and look forward to learning your new TAC number.
Yeah, when you get it, holler out for us.
Yeah, throw it up on Facebook or call out. Tony will be you're going to be monitoring tomorrow, right? All day?
Should be.
Yeah, from what, about 7 in the morning until
easy now.
7:30.
I'll try.
Maybe wait till 8 or 9. Good stuff, Charlie. Thanks for that. And with that, let's move on to Pamela's comment. Atlanta 849. Go ahead.
Okay, gentlemen. Had a couple more things that I didn't get a chance to talk about earlier. I still have my original 2 flip-top phones that I always enjoyed. They're still around. Ernest says he had a Zycom radio 900 megahertz somewhere. And we also have a record player that's a Yamaha that's like 48 years old, still in excellent condition. But I wanted to comment, your Town Lake location, that theater, oh man, that is an awesome place to be up there. I know that place because of my mom being in Woodstock, so I know where that is. I wish I was over there at that location on Friday night. Anyway, that's all, and I'll just turn it back to y'all, and learned all kinds of things, didn't even know I had that many nerdy gadgets here. So appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, and that movie theater's got its own level of nerdiness.
Yeah.
They've got the reclining chairs and...
I don't remember the last time I've been to a theater, a movie.
Yeah, I've been... we don't go often. I mean, the what's available anymore is just...
That's true.
I mean, when you take a look at what they're putting out in the movie theaters versus what you can watch on Netflix and Prime, and I don't know how that market even survives. But it's crazy to me that you could spend a couple of $100 million just making a movie.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah, I just don't comprehend that. You know, my dad talks about when he was a young man, he got a job with MGM.
Yeah.
And he was on set in the field. Some of that movie was shot in South Dakota, where he lived at the time, and so he was just like a grip, like a hand,
right.
Labor, and move stuff from here to there, and that kind of thing. So, but neat stories about his experience in the film industry.
I've done some extra stuff.
I haven't. We've gone to be at them, but we're never selected.
Yeah.
So yeah. My son and I went to a thing for the Hunger Games, and we also went to a thing for Stranger Things.
Ah, cool.
But we weren't.
You weren't picked?
No. We were involved in filming some scenes for the Hunger Games, but those scenes were shot right down here in the park in Woodstock.
Oh yeah.
But they never made it to the movie.
Hit the floor, the cutting floor.
Apparently.
Okay.
Probably that fat guy with a ball cap. They said no ball.
He didn't look hungry enough.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So good stuff, Pamela, and I'm sure there's lots more memories. I'd be interested in seeing that Yamaha record player. Yamaha is one of those brands that I've always had an affinity to. That's always been a high quality brand name. So I've very much been a Yamaha fan, almost to the degree that I am a Kenwood fan. And cool stuff. All right. Do you have the script up?
No.
Oh, well, then I guess I'm going to have to do it. This concludes the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we had a total of, what's our total, Tony?
69.
69 check-ins, including all of us here at Net Control.
Nice.
We'll now be returning all of these repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget to like and subscribe and make a comment on the YouTube channel. Well, you still can. You've got just a few seconds left to do that.
Right.
Those are the things that help the channel to grow and to reach other people. And, you know, it's not a big channel. We don't have massive viewership, but we are reaching out. Let me break. We are reaching out to regions near and far, so it's always exciting to see, you know, North Idaho and Colorado and
we have a New York one every now and then.
yeah. I haven't seen Miko from New York for a little while, but
Right.
I'm sure he'll be back at some point. We even get him as far away as Cleveland, Georgia.
Nice.
And so yeah, every now and
Cleveland.
then it's that's Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's wrong,
Cleveland, the other Cleveland, you know,
Yeah.
the one in Ohio.
Yeah.
1970 something. They set the river on fire. Look it up. It's fascinating. Fascinating story. You want to talk about the pollution of the 60s and 70s? That is an excellent source to get to. Weren't we about to close? Thanks for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946 WQYR 514. My name is Justin.
And this is Atlanta 1150 WRZV 748. I am Tony.
And this is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263. My name is Rogers.
We are North Georgia GMRS Network.
And we are clear.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
I'll be all right.